Yeah, we only got 6 minutes to.
No.
Yeah, the battery crapped out on my 720p.
That's a lot of P's.
Yeah, I had an 8 gigabyte.
I do not
SD
want
card.
720p's.
That's about the best.
Like under no circumstances.
Best
do I want
resolution.
720p's.
Oh, dude. How do you guys kick off your show?
Just like so, welcome to the Tragedy Academy, a show created to bridge societal divides in a judgment-free zone using candor and humor. My name is Jay, and we are actually on set of Florida Men on Florida Man, here with Wayne and Josh. How you guys doing?
Doing very good. We just recorded ours,
That's right.
and now we're nervous to get into yours.
Dude, I got to tell you, though, I think this is a genius idea, and I think more podcasts should do it, because if we're going to have, you know, these arts that we're pursuing and sharing our art, the creativity, why not let people get it done all at the same time?
Right.
100%.
Right? Just like, it doesn't make sense not to.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as you said it, I was like, why?
I don't know why. Yeah, why it didn't come up, automatically when we thought we're recording, and then you said, "Do you want to come on our show?" And it was probably an hour until we go, "Why don't we just do it at the same time?"
It was Josh's idea. He was like, why don't you have them record their episode afterwards? I mean, it's
Same thing. When
brilliant.
you guys come over to ours, we'll just flip the script
Yeah.
and give you a cutout to take with you.
Dude,
Very
honestly,
cool.
I love it, man. And like we've known you guys for a while, and so it feels like it's long overdue. But like having you guys on Famafam,
Oh, sorry.
and then
Now it's time to
Tragedy
record.
Academy.
And now
What does that
record.
say?
it says meditation.
Oh,
What? Yes, it does.
Nice.
He
So you
practices.
guys gonna be
meditation.
quiet for this
Yeah.
whole time?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Gary, what's up, man?
In
How do you
person.
he's in Florida.
I'm in
Gary
Florida.
flew in for this.
Yeah.
How much did that set you back? Because you didn't get a lot of notice. It wasn't like a 6-month notice.
It was all points.
My man.
Yeah.
MX Platinum.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Financially.
Yeah, I got a
He's
one night hotel room for free because I got stuck in the elevator there for 27 minutes last time I was at that hotel.
I'm sorry.
What? Say
I'm
again?
sorry?
Which,
Yeah. And
that's your own trauma.
yeah.
If you want to talk about
Is it worth a hotel room night?
It was kind
I
of
feel like I want
if
more.
I know it's only 27 minutes.
it was kind of dramatic.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
It was 3 women in the with me in there.
Go on.
And I was about to not get in, but like it's like,
Oh,
They were-
okay.
they were-
So there were
I
some
thought you said-
circumstances surrounding
they were
the
African American, and like I thought like for a split second I would look like a racist or something if I didn't get in there. So I was just
Okay.
like,
They
got
were
in.
they were heavy set. So he was a
Okay.
little
Okay.
nervous.
Yeah.
It
I
was-
thought you said knock it in.
yeah. So it's like it was
I thought so too.
yeah. It was like I didn't know, like so I did, and then there's a guy behind me, and he just kept hitting the button, and the door just kept opening, and they're
Oh
like
my
yelling at him like,
gosh.
"Stop hitting the button!" He
Yeah.
went down about like 6 feet and just stopped.
Can I tell you?
And
man?
you all blame that guy.
Oh, they blame me.
Oh, what?
Wow.
Oh, well, one of them. Blamed me.
You're looking at a guy
He
that
was the last one to get onto the elevator, so they
Uh-huh.
said he was the last amount of weight that fucked.
No. Well, dude, I was gonna say you're looking at a professional stair taker because I
Yeah.
hate elevators,
Yeah, he
dude.
does.
I hate them.
Is there a limit though? Like number of stairs worth
5?
elevator?
Great question.
They hide the
It's 5
stairs.
flights. It's
5 flights?
5 flights.
Anything
is mine.
above 5
I'll take
is
an
elevator.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm on 7 again.
I could see that.
Wow.
Yeah, because
7.
dude, five is uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable.
But
Yeah.
when I think about 27 minutes and remember that movie 27 Hours where the guy
Yeah.
cut his arm off?
Felt like that.
That
Yeah.
would be me in an elevator without not needing to.
Yeah.
I would not be okay with that. I had a cousin that wanted me to get into the trunk of the car to get
Oof.
into a drive-in.
Okay.
I was like, I will fucking bite your nose off
Oh.
if you try to stick
Wow.
me in
For a
here.
film?
I'm
Yeah.
not getting in the trunk of a car.
Yeah.
Dude,
Even
you
with the
didn't grow
glow
up
in the
like
dark
me.
handle, though?
Yeah,
Was this
No,
before
they didn't have
Glow?
that stuff back then. They didn't have like the little thing you could pull.
You just had to die.
No, I would have died of carbon monoxide
Yeah,
poisoning. We
that's
didn't
true.
have like a nice ride.
One of my early moments of anxiety when I was younger was watching Rescue 911
Oh, yeah.
or Unsolved Mysteries.
That
Oh,
sound,
that-
that music,
that soundtrack.
Yeah.
It still
easily.
gets me. And one of the episodes, they talk about a girl that was thrown into the trunk of a car, and they go, if you're ever in the situation,
I know what you're going to say.
you have to do the tail light.
Oh yeah, you're supposed to like F with the taillights.
Yeah.
Kick it out.
Yeah,
I would
remember
never, I would never like see a car with taillights and go,
How
oh,
long do you
I bet
Helen
someone's
Keller
in the
around in
trunk.
there before you find it?
Oh, yeah.
What'd you say?
You're just like, that's malfunctioning.
Yeah, if something's like blinking like crazy, I'm like, is that a human in there? There's
You're
no
like, that's
way.
like-
If you're
They're
shoved in
getting
a
pulled
trunk,
over.
it's probably not a nice car. So everybody's going to assume that
Yeah.
it's just
That's
a
a
shitty taillight.
great
Yeah.
point, dude.
Yeah,
But
it's true.
that stuck with me, man. Like that show for some reason, like I thought it's kind of like people say that joke about like I thought quicksand was gonna be a bigger deal than what it
Yeah.
was. I
Yeah.
thought like the scenarios in Rescue 911 were gonna be like I anticipated
Yeah.
kidnapping.
I heard like punch out the tail light.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah,
thought, too.
like how do you? I don't.
I mean
I don't
they
like
saw
it.
my forearms and like that kid's not punching out.
Yeah, you might
nothing.
be able to, like anger kick it. Yeah.
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 But so I bring up the story on the, or not, there's a story, but it's a joke.
Mhm.
And I'm kind of curious to see what you guys think about this
Okay.
understanding that I
Please.
got from this. And it was, if you put your significant other
Yep.
and a dog
Okay.
in the trunk of a car,
Yikes.
Mm.
and you came back half hour later and opened it, which one would be happy to see you?
Okay.
If I put them both in the car, the dog,
I put them in. I put them
You
in.
put them
Yeah.
both in the trunk. You came back
they're
half
both
hour later and opened
reluctant.
it.
They're
I-
both reluctant.
I mean,
Yeah.
the dog's gonna be happy to see
Doesn't
me
matter if the dog
regardless.
is even reluctant.
Yeah, the dog doesn't care.
The dog doesn't know any better.
Here's the dog is actually happy. Right?
Yes.
Right.
Wagging its tail.
Yeah.
I'm not in a trunk anymore.
Yes, 100%.
That's funny, right?
Yep.
That's just a funny joke, yada, yada,
Yeah,
yada.
yeah,
But then I thought about it. And I'm like, what about the person in the trunk? What happens to them?
They should divorce you immediately. Put 'em in.
Easily.
I think
My
so.
life in the trunk, the book.
Oh,
I'm a
yeah.
victim. I've got mental health problems. I
Oh,
identify now as this, you
Yep.
know, all
Trunk
these
victim.
things, right?
Yeah.
But what's the difference between them and the dog?
Mm.
Bipedal.
Yeah.
Besides being a biped.
That's all of the things that would make this a relevant story. That like they could feel the emotion of their husband locking them in the trunk.
It's
Yeah.
the fact that they can come away with an identity and a new character in life
Wow.
with something that is not happening in the now.
I think he just got kidnapped and put in the trunk of the car by their husband. Like
Yes.
that's a thing that's worth like
You're going in with
that's
a
a scar
history.
that's like
right?
understandable. Like that.
So
that
let's
happened.
face
Trust.
value. It's not your husband that stuck you in there. It's a random stranger
that's
that
kinda-
just ran by and kicked you both in the trunk and shut the door.
I think,
But another stranger opens it.
Wow.
That's-
Then you're happy.
Oh,
yeah, but I think.
but
like,
are you? You were still in the trunk.
I think
I'm
if
happier.
you are a woman and you get thrown and locked in the trunk of a car by anybody, like I could understand why there would be some trauma.
Yeah.
Okay.
On the surface,
A man
though,
as
my
well, but,
explanation
like, yeah.
is
Yes.
that we hold on to things that do not exist in the now.
yes.
Mm.
Right? Because
Yep.
the dog doesn't worry about the fact that it was in a trunk. The dog just is happy it's where it is now.
Yes.
I see what you're saying.
We hold on to
yeah.
trauma. We identify with it. We make it a character
Sure.
trait. We become that
Oh,
person.
easily. I talk about my ex-girlfriend punching me once a week.
You told me that in text.
It's funny.
No, it was somebody else punched you.
Yeah. Well, no, it's probably her.
I've been there.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, okay, so I do think that something Jay said on our episode, which was that the past happened, but it's not now. It's not real. It's not. You're living in a way. It is real that it happened, but we tend to our anxiety and our depression most of the time is triggered by things that happened to us in the past, and our mind circles around living there. Even though that's right now
It's
we're not
not here.
we're not living there. It's not
Yeah.
there.
That's the mental illness. When you talk about the human condition, in
Yeah.
my mind,
Yeah.
I believe that's the condition. We're the only creature doing it different.
Okay.
Right.
All of them are watching us and they don't want us near them.
I see what you're saying.
We're
What's the
Technically-
life expectancy of all these other creatures though? Because they just go get locked in the trunk again and die.
no, they
like-
come back out happy.
We like, but they go repeat the same behavior and like not learn from it and hopefully not get kidnapped again. They
A
always-
dog.
Does a dog now is a dog now avoiding a trunk?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Probably
like,
not.
No.
Right, but
No.
but you might not.
It's
Get
avoiding
kidnapped
the-
again.
I don't know. It's not avoiding anything. It lives in the now.
Right.
I have a hard time getting my dog in the cage
Yes.
Don't
Yeah.
do that.
after zapping him.
So he
With a prong collar while you're pushing the back and the.
Yeah.
so he
it's
remembers
really
the cage
reluctant.
as a thing
So
he
I
does
so
not want.
I will say this. I think that I heard an example one time of if you were to go to the Serengeti or somewhere and a warthog runs by a bush and a lion jumps out and attacks it and he survives. Like that he more than likely like won't go near that bush anymore because at one point in time a lion jumped out and attacked him. Whereas humans, we are the ones who will assume there's a lion in the bush, never having evidence of a lion in the bush, never being attacked, and then we will not go near a bush based off the assumption and the fear that there's a lion in the bush. So we don't have to have the experience in order to be anxious or like worrying about the experience.
Is that a plus or a minus? Against
We
this?
derive so much information from non-existent places.
Yeah. But that
We
could be a plus. though.
create.
Yeah.
Well, think about it. There's a term called Johari's window,
Mm.
and it's 4 panes, and I'm going to butcher it a bit, but the premise is that you know what you know about yourself.
Yep.
Right? Then in the next block, it's what people know about you
Okay.
that you don't know about yourself.
Yeah.
Third block
Mhm.
is what everybody knows.
Okay.
Fourth block is what none of us knows.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know a version of it, but it's Donald Rumsfeld. Known knowns, known unknowns, and unknown unknowns
Yeah.
when it comes to going to war. Yeah. That's the version I
But-
know. It's 3 panes.
It's
But-
amazing what we will give ourselves as a personality for
Yeah.
what we think that person thinks of us.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
We will run a whole storyline. They think I'm this.
Well, and but I think if you believe enough people think that, you can eventually become that.
That shows how weak the script is.
Right. And I think I think
nice.
that I think if
How moldable it is.
yeah, right, because I think I learned early on, like growing up, that if I made somebody laugh, I could diffuse the situation,
Mm.
or I
Yeah.
could whatever.
A butt kicking could be
Yeah,
dropped
I
by
do the same.
humor.
It
I
could be
used to do
avoided, yeah. And so then you fall into that kind of trap of, well, now I have to either A, make everybody laugh, or B, I have to, anytime there's tension, try to make it funny, because I can't go into something heavy or hard because I'm uncomfortable.
Easily.
Would you say that? I love that you brought this up, because I feel like there are types of people that have different feelings and different experiences with being human, right?
Mm.
And I don't think we understand that enough.
Mhm.
And I believe that when we are interacting with others, there are groups of people that have the ability to feel the feelings of other people in the
Yes.
room without being able to decipher it until
Right.
they get the wisdom,
Okay.
right? And I found for the longest time, I didn't understand why people were upset for whatever reason when they were in my presence,
Mhm.
when they were,
Okay.
right? And my insecurity became, they're thinking about me.
Hmm.
They don't like me. They're mad at their wife or the
Yeah.
whatever happened or having.
toothache.
The guy that
But
keeps throwing it in the
because
trunk.
I'm hyper aware
Throwing it in the
of
trunk.
people's feelings, intentions,
Ah.
or that kind of thing,
Yeah.
I know when people are being disingenuous. I feel
Okay.
like Wayne is very, very gifted at reading a room, people, or when they're not being true to themselves.
Well, I think that some folks, actually a really close friend of mine, she was telling me recently that for her it's torture because she feels like she's so empathetic that she can't like focus whenever
Mhm.
she walks into a room and she can tell
her job.
someone's
Ah.
uncomfortable or somebody.
Yeah.
It feels like it's her job to make that person comfortable or to change the scenario so that, you see what I'm saying? Like it's
I'll give you one name and it'll level all of you at the same time.
Obama.
No,
Oprah Winfrey.
Robin Williams.
Right.
I could see it.
I was joking about Obama, but Robin Williams, yeah.
Dude, that's as soon as that happened, it
Yeah.
identified in so many ways. It broke my heart because just like you said, diffusing it.
Yeah.
Diffusing it with that laughter or feeling you had to raise the energy of a room. So it was no longer in pain.
I saw an interview with the kid who was in Mrs. Doubtfire, the son.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how he went to Robin's trailer and Robin was upset. And he opened up to the kid about this cycle of drugs he was doing to try and kill the sadness.
Yeah.
And he was saying that like whenever he passed, he was genuinely just not shocked because he felt like he thought as a kid everybody knows that about Robin.
Yeah.
He didn't realize until later on that no
wow.
one knew it about Robin.
That's, man, I had a friend that took his life. And I always knew that he had an issue.
Mhm.
And because I had my own issues, it's another reason why the show exists. I was unable to help him with his and missed an opportunity to see him. We both canceled. He was just in town doing something, and he purposely canceled on me. I know that now because when he got back to where he was from, he committed suicide.
Heavy.
Well, and dude, it's crazy because like it's, that fear kind of morphed for me. Like I did fear losing friends. We had some mutual friends that passed that way. My fear morphed from losing friends to when I had kids, trying to maintain an environment that would like make them feel not feel safe at all times, but feel comfortable talking about that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Because like that was my biggest fear was like, eventually what if my friends didn't talk to me about that kind of stuff or whatever. Now it's like my children of like, I want them to feel, if they can't go to anywhere else, I want them to be able to come to me and their mom.
You come from an Irish family.
Yeah, for sure.
It is not known for sharing of the personal problems.
Well,
in the past, it's like Irish men don't talk about that kind of thing. I
remember my dad saying to me one time, like when I asked him some advice about stuff I was going through, and he said, "Yeah, I've kind of been through that." And I was like, "Oh," well, what'd you do? And he goes, well, "I don't really remember."
It's like suck it up and keep pushing. It's like,
yeah. Tuck it down deep, and one day you'll die.
Oh yeah, that's cancer.
Yeah.
Everything you squash down deep, that's
Jameson will suppress it.
Yeah.
It'll help.
Yeah.
Wow. So we get to talk about Florida Man on Florida Man.
Yeah.
And your friendship. You said earlier that you guys have been friends since you were kids.
We were about 16, 17.
Yeah, about 11th grade.
Yeah.
What's it like knowing and having a friend that you can count on and that believes in you over so many years? Because I don't think that those friendships are as prevalent as people would love to think.
It's weird to read on the internet about adult men having problems like making and finding friends, because it's like, oh, well, that's interesting, but I've always had one.
Right. Yeah.
So I can't connect, and if I had to, I wouldn't know where to start.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
So how amazing is that to have that as part of your life, your story?
Yeah. It's very unique.
Yeah, and when I think that's the downside is because I've always had Josh.
Being friends with Josh?
Yeah.
Well, no. Well, no.
Wow, dude.
You find out here in the air.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say that is because I've always had Josh. I assume most people have a Josh. You see what I'm saying? So I don't. Yeah. I've never not had like a best friend. So like,
and they do if they call me, they can have their Josh.
They can have Josh too.
Yeah,
I will share Josh.
I'll be there.
But I will say this.
This is getting. Did everybody leave? You guys are sharing each other.
They just knew exactly.
There's a lot of lights in here.
Yeah.
Well, he's gonna bring up suicide, then they're gonna bring up something weird. Like we're just gonna go because that was funny. Like,
well,
yeah. Everybody took off.
No, I will say that because like Josh he's the only guy in my wedding photos, like besides my wife, who is still around. He's the only person that like, when I look at memories that I have, when I think of like memories, like things that I can remember, that I haven't blocked away because of trauma, like he's around somehow, like he's present for those memories. Mm-hmm. And so I think the interesting thing for us, and we've talked about this before, is it doesn't feel like it's been as long as it has been.
No. Yeah.
Because it's been 21, 22 years. But it doesn't feel like that. It feels like when we talk about shared memories from high school, we started a fight club in high school together.
Yeah.
That if you told me that was 8 years ago, I
not out of aggression.
No, it's for fun.
Out of boredom.
Like a legit fight club?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. I mean, it was torso.
Torso only?
Yeah.
We used to do that. We called it body boxing.
Yep.
Yeah.
We used to just, that was when we were much younger.
Yeah.
But we just, it progressed to, we couldn't play that game anymore.
Somebody gets stabbed.
Somebody gets mad.
Yeah.
Somebody gets mad.
Get hurt.
Yeah. Somebody gets hit a little too hard.
I remember the dude. I had this giant dude. We had first time I put on boxing gloves.
Well,
and they were like these 16-ounce giant Q-tips.
Yeah.
Like the size of my head.
Yeah.
And there was this dude. If he listens to this, fuck
shit,
him.
Andy.
He was an asshole, man. Bully and just cocked shit all the time, but he was big.
Yeah.
And I remember like putting the gloves on, and I was always forced into fighting.
Yeah.
I never wanted to fight.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't my deal.
Yeah.
But I was always pushed into it. And he was coming at me, and he was bigger, but was not a boxer, obviously, because he kept his hands like right here.
Oh,
Oh.
Oh, like you would, like if a bear's coming
like
at
he was
you.
giving me
Hey,
like
bear.
a touchdown.
Yeah.
With his face in the middle. And unfortunately, I did unleash.
Yeah.
Of course.
I was a
Yeah.
smaller guy, and I was laying everything into this dude's face.
Oof.
He kept going forward.
He didn't block.
He's strong.
He didn't block it. Then I was slowly realizing that I was not able to punch my way out of this
Oh,
situation.
okay. So that's
Yeah.
scary.
Because his head looks like a Pez dispenser, and he's still walking forward. Like
Yeah.
I was like,
That's
this
not
is
good.
not good.
That's a problem.
Yeah. One wallop and
I just ran close to him real quick, closed the gap, and then let him try to like wrestle me, and then we stopped.
Yeah.
good
Like I
God.
didn't let him unleash on me.
Yeah, we had a big guy named Cochise. He
Oh, yeah.
he lifted a sleeper sofa above his head and
What?
threw it in a dumpster.
A sleeper sofa?
Yep,
Well,
it
we-
had a foldable
In high
bed
school.
in it, and he lifted it. Not a sofa, a sleeper couch.
Yep.
Is he now in like the World Tough Man competition?
Oh, he's
'Cause
gotta
that's
be.
the weird shit you got to throw in that.
He's
group.
got to be passed.
I think
that heart.
I
was-
think he's in different
that heart
dimensions.
was 50 years old when he was 18.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
and he was born in America but had a Russian accent. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I love this.
No, but okay,
Stop.
this is real. This
Yeah.
is real about Cochise. Is we went to the I think it was like a field trip or something. We were at the ocean, and he was out in the ocean like punching the waves, like he was fighting the ocean.
Fighting the tide.
Yeah, and-
So was
Yeah.
my uncle Randy when he had too many Bud Lights when we were at the beach.
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that was Cochise's energy.
Yeah.
I
Wait.
love this guy.
Waves do become offensive with
Yes.
enough
They'll
drinks.
take you out.
Yeah. they will.
Dude, yeah, no. I've
Punching's
been
not a very effective method against them, though.
Yeah, no, punching is the least effective.
Isn't it interesting though that like, and no, because I think about the people that would be qualified as bullies from our high school, and it is a stereotype, right? Because like when someone describes our bullies and you describe your bullies or whatever, there's a good chance there's gonna be similarities. Like
Oh yeah. Well, it's Florida too.
Yeah.
true,
Mhm.
and I keep forgetting you're from Florida.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting that. So that's, I mean, we had a guy. I'm not gonna mention his name, but my first day in high school, at the school that Josh and I met at, he book dropped me, which
I
is
do
such
like a good book drop.
like
Oh, you mean like slap your books?
Oh, yeah.
No,
But you
have
that's
to
fucking
announce it.
humiliating.
Yeah.
You have to say book drop. Yeah.
it's humiliating.
It's so
There's something about
humiliating.
it, like
Especially day one.
Oh,
day one.
Yeah.
Oh,
And he,
man,
this
dude.
is no lie. He book drops me, and then he goes, "You don't drink from this water fountain." And I go, "Okay."
What is this, 1950?
And they go,
Yeah.
I would
and-
go,
and-
yeah, but I pee in it.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
what?
Right,
That's the
dude.
perfect
And
response.
I wasn't that clever, and I just go, "Okay." And I picked up my books
That's
and I
the
went
least clever.
and I left. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
What do you do?
what's crazy is like I remember thinking like, man, he looks so strong, like he's whatever. And then a buddy of mine told me, it's like, yeah, he's fell like 3 times. Like, well, of course he's strong. Like
Yeah.
he's 21 years old, bro. Like
He's
Yeah.
paying taxes.
I'm 16. Yeah.
He's a teacher.
Yeah. I mean, bro,
Were you bullied by the janitor?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
he had like no neck. It was just like shoulder to head.
Yeah.
And then like potato body, but it was like solid.
Oh,
And-
Potato body.
Yeah.
I hope nobody ever uses that as my adjective.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and-
you're a walking yam.
Yeah. I think he's passed as well. We got bullied by a PE coach,
Yeah.
Coach Cone. I'll say his
Yeah.
name.
Yeah. He was a unique individual. So he kept hiding that he worked at a club. And I found a picture of him on the club's website. So I printed it on a iron-on piece of paper.
What kind of club?
And yeah, it was a nightclub.
Yeah.
And I gave the printout to one of the known bad kids.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And
That's it.
he ironed it on his t-shirt and he wore it around school. And this coach ripped it off of him.
The kids.
That's bait, dude. That coach was fired.
That's
Yeah, I wish. No, he was.
Oh, bro, he did. I mean, so we went to a private Christian school.
Yeah.
And it was like lawless. I mean, like,
Yeah.
this kid got his shirt ripped off by a coach, and sent back to class. He comes into class like nipples
This is
out.
Okeechobee.
Yeah.
This is where I grew up. Dude, we had shotgun class in like our ag. Like you could
Jesus.
during school, like they had like FFA or ag class or whatever it was.
Right.
Our ag class had a section for like shotguns. They took us all to the range.
Well, that's scary.
That's
shot
wild.
skeet. Like
I shot skeet in high school too, but it wasn't like that.
That's a little John version.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh.
Little John's
White people just
version.
figured that out like last year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean,
a lot of people over 40 just figured it out
We just do.
after Betty White sang it.
We just talked about that 2 episodes ago.
Yeah.
My youth pastor's wife growing up, I was that song was popular and we were bowling. And I
heard
was
you
singing
talk
that
about this
song.
on the show the
Yeah.
other day.
And she
Oh,
bowled a
ski, ski.
strike and she went, ski ski. And because she didn't know the context. She didn't understand what it meant.
Yeah.
And
It was never the right answer.
and it was awkward, man. When she found out, it was a big deal.
That's
Well,
pretty amazing.
I want to take a moment, put a pause in the show because we actually have gifts for you guys.
No way.
I hope not.
Well,
These are not extremely well thought out gifts because of the time
Okay.
frame, but
We got you fake oranges. Did we?
I love fake ones.
Okay.
My
Yeah.
that was a lie. All right, so
I think you thought these out pretty good.
I
What?
didn't,
Oh,
I
no.
didn't overthink about. So this is Wayne's,
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
and you're gonna just start pulling out items.
Okay.
One
Right?
of them is gonna
That is
Okay.
a Florida item,
Okay.
and that's from Caroline. You got a little
Okay.
bit on that.
Oh man.
This-
Mother Mary.
Caroline, you want to tell them what this is?
Should I grab the other?
That's dehydrated Jolly Ranchers.
No.
Oh, my gosh.
So this redneck lady with a heavy Southern accent with a high school daughter in an ag program has a cow.
Yeah.
Like, we need cow feed.
Yeah.
And so they dehydrated all this candy and like fruit, and then they were
That's incredible.
Yeah,
Right?
I didn't
it's
know-
actually bath bombs. I want to see if you'll
Yeah,
take-
it was
Oh.
no, I'm kidding.
Okay.
Bro, I will eat this.
I didn't know how
Should
that
eat it.
story was going to end up there.
I
A lady with
Yeah, that's
cows? I was like, okay.
Yeah, I
Did she tell the wrong story?
Yeah, I
Is
was
she
like,
telling the
that's
wrong story?
funny.
I love this, dude.
They take all the moisture out of Jolly
So-
Ranchers
wow.
to pay for
Yeah,
the
so-
pet cow.
It's supposed to be like brittle, crispy, like they
God,
will
Oh, I
turn into
can't
like.
wait.
It's
Yeah.
incredible.
And of course, everybody loves a good bunk cake from
Yeah.
around here, right? There's a special little thing stuck to that. All right.
Okay.
So I went out on a limb with this gift.
Uh-huh.
I watched.
I
I
big fan.
watched some of your, and I didn't know, but I watched
Yeah.
some of the film work you did in the overdubs and shit. And I was like, if there's no way he is not a fan of Mystery
fan.
Science Theater 3000.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
so cool.
absolutely.
So
Big
I
fan.
got that
So
for your
cool.
laptop
Oh,
I would have tried
To
to do it, but I
point-
would've kicked your mic.
to point at your FM OFM sticker,
awesome.
right?
That is
Because
so
they're watching the show.
Yeah. This
That
is
is
awesome.
so cool, dude.
Beautiful. Thank you.
That's
right
incredible.
on, man. And Wayne, you have something special in here.
This package here.
Yes.
Okay.
You got one as well, but it wasn't on purpose. I accidentally ordered two.
All right.
This is for your studio door.
Okay.
I want you to go ahead and pull that out. It goes on the corner of the frame.
Yes, and it's it looks like it's Jesus, and it says, "I saw that."
Okay. Awesome. Very cool.
That is so funny, dude. I saw that.
wow.
So
I
you'll
love
put
it.
it up there, and it
That
looks like
is-
Jesus is peeking around the door.
That's cool.
That's
and I
so
figured that would
cool.
be
Wow.
so-
It's like
Well-
a little bit of guilt every time you walk in.
Well,
Oh,
dude,
yeah.
the bulk of our studio is decorated by gifts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so
Yeah.
this is perfect, dude. This
Very
is
clever.
perfect.
Dude, I saw it and I was
Very
like,
clever.
that is
Oh,
Thanks,
that's
right
cool.
around there. As soon as you look over there, you'll be like, oh, Jesus is watching.
Let's keep all more
Wow.
guests in line.
And you have a special gift in there
Okay.
because I feel like you're a kindred spirit,
Okay.
and everybody needs a flea market item
yes.
because we're from Florida.
Yes.
The flea market is
Okay.
everything. Go ahead.
Okay.
Now, your little safeties on the
Okay.
top.
Is it? Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There we, oh,
What a-
yeah.
It's a beard comb.
Beautiful.
It's a beard
You know?
comb that looks like a butterfly knife.
Yeah.
It's a switch comb.
Oh, this
He
is
had the
switchblade.
butterfly knife, and
I
he
did
was
have the
deciding
butterfly one.
between which one to bring.
Wow, this is metal too. The ones I buy at the
Yep.
at the flea market are plastic.
Oh, that one's got
This
like
is-
bone
yeah.
handle.
Oh,
you
wow,
can probably
yeah.
hurt somebody with that thing.
Oh, I'll
Try
try
scale a fish.
To. Yeah,
Thank you
solid.
guys,
Better,
man.
Wow.
It's so thoughtful, bro.
This
Thank you
is
so much,
awesome.
man.
And then we got got some stickers to post.
Oh
on.
yeah,
Yes,
there's
we
some
do.
stickers in the bag. I did them super fast and didn't put our QR code on there. That's
Oh,
fucking smart.
This is such an intense logo.
It's pretty.
I love it, dude.
Yeah.
Do you like it?
Oh,
got
it's
layers.
amazing. Yeah,
I
it's
love
great.
it so much. And we're gonna put them on our some in our walkway too over here.
Oh,
in the
cool,
studio
man! I
with
saw
the
all these
doors.
stickers out there. I love that, dude.
Thank you. And we were going to have people sign, so maybe they could be the first ones.
Oh, that'd be
cool.
great, dude.
Yeah, right by 236. That
Yes.
sliver of wall is where we're going to have
I'd
our
love
guest
to,
sign.
man.
People sign stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, please do it.
Yeah.
All right,
This
and
is
he's a
incredible.
graffiti artist.
I believe it.
He was a bomber in Cleveland. That
Hell
was what he
yeah.
grew up doing.
I still do.
That's
Man,
so wild,
okay.
dude.
So, like, I'm about to turn 40.
You should see his art. Like he doesn't. That's the other thing. He draws so well,
Yeah.
paints so well.
Is there a site
And-
or something we can see it on?
You go to his Instagram and there's always pieces of art on there.
Yeah, I got my friend building like a 3D real engine, like a gallery that we're trying to figure out how it could be like,
That's sick.
try to like make it into a thing. Like I could do an exhibit and then find somebody else and like try to keep it going.
Yeah,
That's
so
sick.
cool.
That's cool.
we're talking about a virtual studio as
That's
well,
what-
yeah.
and
That
trying to
too.
set that up.
Yeah, you
That's
It's
guys.
awesome.
so much work.
But I hate
Yeah.
it.
So
Like, at the
tired.
same time. Like
Yeah.
Hate it, but
physical
you love it?
things. Like,
Sure.
Yeah.
You know, and like the AI thing is just like a debate, and like we have the debate, and like
Mm-hmm.
and it's when is like too far, you know?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like,
Sure.
It's not going to stop.
It's
you know,
not
but
good
like
stuff.
where's the lineation between like I'm a good artist and I made the computer do that, or I wrote this great poem.
That's
or the
great.
computer wrote this
It's
great
a
poem.
it's a
tough.
fabulous question.
Yeah.
You know,
I,
It's
I,
tough.
I think people had the same conversations about tractors. Yeah. You know what I mean? 120 years ago.
You're not wrong, dude.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, like farmers are saying, like, this is real. People would post it in newspapers, you know, like this is the end
Oh,
of the
yeah.
farmer. You know what
Well,
I mean?
it's
Like,
John Henry.
right? Yeah.
Mhm.
When they start, and people started like even before that, when ranchers started putting up barbed wire and blocking off their land, that was
Yeah.
unheard of. I think every point in
It's a
history,
nightmare for animals.
yeah, like you're
Fuck, man, we ruined all
Oh,
of
yeah.
the landscape in the world by putting up fences and
Wire,
things like that.
yeah.
right. When I think we're in the turning page right now, right? So the page is turning. And we don't understand it because we don't know the outcome. And so all we can do is debate it. But then
Yeah.
eventually the page will turn and people will look back on this and go, remember when AI came on the scene?
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Remember when you used to have to use those clear pieces of plastic to make a cartoon?
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like
Right.
Cells. Everything was your.
yeah,
Right.
it was all cells. Like I remember, that's it
And
can't
then
be any
flip.
different. I think
Yeah.
that for me, I don't draw.
Okay.
Right? I'm very bad at it. Not my thing. But AI art, I can describe what I want.
Nice.
And I am pretty literate.
Isn't
and
that
I
a
consider
form of
myself
art?
to be. It is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm writing words with
Yep.
the mind to paint a picture, and I'm
Yeah.
asking this, just like I would commission an artist.
Mhm.
I want this. I want it to look this way.
Right,
give it
but
this flair.
It's exactly the same. I agree. You didn't make that art.
No.
You had some other guy paint it for you, and you had the robot paint it for you. So, like, you didn't make it. And I'm not saying it's different with the creating it. I think telling someone else to do it is less you than if you're making like,
100%.
prompts and stuff. You know, because I'm like not a
I
great
would
artist.
agree with
I
you.
like it, but I can't say that if I had the computer do like these beautiful murals that like the best guy in the world and it looks
Uh-huh.
the same. Like I didn't make that the same way that he did.
And I agree with you to a certain extent. I think there's two different users for AI
Yeah.
in this art. I think there's the person that just puts in something like, give me a monkey
Mhm.
kicking a football over the earth,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's
Yeah.
going to give you
Yes.
whatever
That's pretty
picture looks like that, right?
Yeah.
But then there's the guy that wants a picture that depicts a skull,
Yep.
a body,
Yep.
a biological vein system inside of it.
Mm-hmm.
I want it to trigger enlightenment. I want it to use these color codes because these match this.
Yeah.
I want it to show. I want shock waves coming from the headphones into the head to show that
Yeah.
it is having an enlightening moment.
Yeah.
pretty
that they're-
cool. We should make that.
It sounds pretty cool.
And describe it out that way. And it doesn't come out the first time. I can tell you that.
No.
No, there's a lot of weird Dr. Moreau shits in my.
Yeah, there's some nightmares.
Like I feel less strongly about it as I've thought about it, and like that kind
Yeah.
of stuff is like disgust. But it's like it's not even like me as much as like the respect I have for like the true like artists that
I
have
think
just
you can see the
practiced it.
difference.
Like you
Yeah.
can, but I think eventually you won't be able to. Like,
True.
then it's just like, is it done? Like that form, and then where does it morph to? Like, if
I still think you can feel it.
Maybe. The thing
If emotion goes into it, emotion is what you take from it.
and like music, think of like the songs
I was going to say, I think from my experience, there was a similar debate when folks started producing their own stuff, and I remember people saying like, well, then the live show is going to be the differentiator, because when folks are able to create something in a studio that they can't duplicate live, then it says something. But if their live show has like that special energy, there's a lot of bands that I've seen. A great example, Josh and I, we partnered with this radio station to promote the Florida Man Festival. And that was the first time I ever saw 311 live.
Yeah.
And Josh listened to 311. I didn't like 311.
I love 311.
I love 311.
And then I saw him live and I was like, oh, I'm a fan.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So
But we were a fan of Jimmy Eat World, and then and they were the opener.
And I shit on their bus once.
Yeah. They had no
Yeah.
energy.
They had no energy, right? And so
Bring it around full circle.
But,
and so I do wonder if it's similar in the way where it's like a studio, you can make a master song and you see a band live and go, I don't feel it.
It's funny because I 100% thought they were the wackest shit, and then I saw them live,
And
it
it
was awesome.
killed, right?
Yeah, it was awesome.
The energy.
Yeah. And so I think the same with art. I think like Jay was saying, I think you'll feel it. I think you and again, like,
But what are you feeling at the end of the day when you look at an art, at a piece of art? Like, are we going to look at these?
Only you know that.
Yeah. So
Right?
it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter because everybody has a different prescription
Yeah.
lens. So you're going to interpret that piece of art the way it was intended for you. If it doesn't resonate, it's not yours.
Yeah.
it's a
Right.
live.
There's plenty of Renaissance masters that I don't connect with.
Hell
Right,
no,
right.
dude.
Yeah.
But I will say this.
I don't like cherubs. They're weird and
Yeah.
like
I don't like Matisse.
Pudgy.
But you
not
could
even
respect the
biblical.
game though, right? Like you could respect like the talent.
Thank you.
there,
Yes.
As
Yeah.
opposed to like if a guy just said, I want a cherub, and then it just looked the same.
Okay, but can I just say something? I saw recently at our museum in Lakeland, they received via an anonymous donor an original pink cow from
Warhol.
Warhol, and I was from here to this poster, 2.5 feet away, and there's no ropes, there was no glass covering, it was just there. And when the curator told me that it was the OG, and I said, "You don't have any security on it?" And she was like, "Well, why would I? People aren't gonna mess with it." And which that was wild. But then when I got closer to it, I will say I've never felt that way before, where it was a tangible, like there's only one of these in the whole world.
Yeah.
And I'm standing in front of it. That I even now I got goosies.
I
Like it was.
firmly believe it's because the person that made it felt that way when they were making it.
I think so too. I believe that, dude.
But he didn't feel it before they told him.
Yeah, it was a knowledge thing. If it was a replica,
Fair enough. Yeah.
if it was a
It's
replica,
key.
it wouldn't have been the thing. But there's something about the knowledge that gets unlocked where you go like, there's only one of these, man. That's great.
Yeah.
Or it's similar to, I think, when you step into like sacred ground, right?
Okay.
Like a First Nation location in Florida, or you're reading like a plaque next to something and you go, oh, like a battle took place here or
The
whatever. Like,
story always helps.
the story helps.
Yeah.
Storytelling is
Because
the art.
we are storytellers.
Right.
Our entire existence
Right.
is based off the ability to talk.
Yeah. But I think like for me, like we make our kids, when we go to a museum with our kids every other month, and we literally, like, I tell my daughters, like,
Nerds.
yeah, no, it's true. It's true. But we tell our daughters, like, we make it fun, like pick your favorite one here in this room, and that's fun. But then we make them, you're not allowed to look, you have to read the plaque. And because it will, it's most of the time your favorite painting will change if you read the description.
Yeah.
And so it's funny to watch our girls
I
go
love that.
and pick an eyeball one and go, I love this one.
Yeah.
And then they read the plaques and they go, that was my favorite now.
Speaks to me differently.
It's the
now.
story.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
the story,
I agree.
dude. I mean, I think like, again, like you can listen to our show and either love it or hate it. But hopefully if you listen to us for a little bit, talk about our passions, talk about who we are, it gives you a different perspective on our show.
So I'm glad that you brought the show back up. We're circling back around because I'm curious. In 236 episodes talking about Florida men or Florida man in all these situations, what would you say your top story, Wayne, that you've heard over all these 236 episodes, which one resonates with you the most?
I wonder if Josh and I have similar answers.
Okay.
Because you have the same question coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
It gives me time.
I will say, so there's a reason for my answer. There's a guy named Bone Mazel that we've covered. He is the depiction of the original cowboy. So if you look up the original cowboy, Bone Mazel was
very
the
cool.
inspiration. He was said to have been able to whip a fly off of the butt of a cow, and the cow wouldn't notice.
He's got some very clever lore.
Man,
This is what I love about him, because if you ask a Floridian a story of Bone Mazel, they may tell you one you've never heard before. And then you ask a different Floridian, they'll tell you a different story. Because he's one of those guys that, like, there's a little bit of history and a lot of stories.
A lot of lore.
Yeah,
I love that,
You don't
though.
get that much anymore.
You
like-
can't have
No,
it. Google screwed
Yeah.
the lore.
Yeah, you don't. And,
Yeah.
and what's crazy, there's a story of him like rescuing a town of people who were kidnapped.
Yeah.
On
They were
Christmas Eve.
kidnapped and locked in a chapel.
That was
They-
Bruce Willis.
They were locked
That's
yeah, they were locked in a church on Christmas
You
Eve.
got a sandwich board on. It was real weird.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
But
Had to determine how much weight was in
Oh,
each water
man, dude.
jug.
no, it's true. It was Bruce Willis, actually.
Actually,
But no, but they were praying in this church. They were kidnapped, and Bone Mazel. The story goes that Bone Mazel rescued them, and then there's another story where Bone Mazel helped rescue a kid who was lost, and there's like all these like little tied together stories. And then the only thing we know historically about Bone Mazel is that he died with his boots on, like on a bench, like drunk.
oh man, that sounds
Oh,
rough,
now-
dude. Why?
That's
what
His
he wanted.
feet were
Yeah.
binded when he died. I don't know why that sounded painful.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
he wanted to die with his boots on. There's a
No.
I
quote.
thought that
Yeah.
he was ready to rock at all times.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. He was ready to fight.
I just think about my feet feeling all tired
I know.
I
and
hate
then
that.
dying with like
Yeah.
sore feet.
Oh, yeah. No.
It's-
Well,
He didn't probably have like Red Wings on. He probably had some like boots that were not meant.
Yeah. These
But
things were broken
even
in, I'm
more so.
sure.
but that's why I think he's my favorite, though, because like, for example, if when we're talking about the paintings and the art, and it just again to bring that back in, you know, I've written songs before when I was younger, and I would tell somebody specifically the meaning
Mhm.
of that song and watch their expression change because they thought it meant something else, and then I ruined it for them.
True.
And so as a songwriter,
Yeah.
I stopped telling people the original meaning because I wanted them to feel the song and you own it for whatever it's worth to you.
Mm.
The same goes for Bone Mazel.
Yeah.
People have their own Bone Mazel stories, and it's like, yeah, that's what it means to you, man. That's cool. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I love
Exactly.
Bone Mazel. It's a blank slate, but it's not. You know, so it's art in a way.
and it's stories for good.
right. Yeah, Bone Mazel. You never hear a story where Bone Mazel like rob somebody. You know
Yeah,
what
That
I
would
mean?
be funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if he was actually a robber?
No, I mean, like a, yeah. But what you, Josh? What's your? I mean,
I don't know. I'm really big on Tuttle. She's,
Tuttle? Wait a
Yeah, she's the only female founder of a major U.S. city, and that is Miami.
that's right.
She got
shit.
Flagler to build the railroad down to Miami.
Yep.
Which really just blew the city
The
up.
mother of Miami.
Yeah, she had to fight for it. And
The Madre of Miami.
oh, yeah. There's a statue of her. I love the struggle. There's another guy who rode an alligator around.
Alligator Joe.
Alligator
I'm
Joe.
digging Alligator Joe.
I feel like there's a
Yeah.
lot of alligator Joes.
There's a
probably
lot of
around
alligator
Miami.
Joes.
The gator was called Penelope, I believe. And he rode it in the town. This is true. He rode it in the town, and people would put an offering of meat on their porch
Yeah,
for Penelope. And Penelope would eat the meat.
yeah. And of course, the state came and took over his land.
Yep.
And
Aw.
kicked him off of it and killed him.
Yeah.
Yep.
That sounds
That's the
Why,
yeah.
man?
Yeah, well, he was
What about-
profitable.
What happened to Penelope?
Yeah,
Like
Boots
gator
for
bites?
Bone Gazelle.
yeah. Well, and dude, like there was a situation where I believe Alligator Joe was rescued by ostrich riders,
Yeah.
people who rode ostriches and came in and
What
rescued.
I saw this was a video game in like the 80s. Joust?
Yes.
What's going on
Yeah.
here?
Yes,
Yeah,
very
Joust.
similar.
Yeah.
Very similar.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's so much though. There's so
Yeah.
much good history in Florida.
Yeah,
There
Ohio's,
really is.
like not like that. Like we get all like messed up shit that you guys have. But we don't get like a lot of. Like,
You
That
don't have
cool
a beach.
stuff?
we have beach. I got my community service as a kid, and I got beach on Lake Erie. It's
Oh
like
wow.
crab
Wow.
apples and dead fish and
The amazing thing about the Great Lakes is they're so big. They just have their own like tides and they can sink ships.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
It might
it's
as well be an ocean.
unreal.
And weirdly saltwater.
Oh yeah. I didn't know
Aren't
that.
they? Yeah, aren't like a couple. Isn't there a
No,
saltwater?
that would be the Great Salt Lake.
No.
Well,
Well,
Great
I
Lakes.
will say I just was explaining You guys, I think we're the same generationally here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You remember the Bill O'Reilly meme of you can't explain that?
I do, yeah.
Because there was a scene where Bill O'Reilly was interviewing an atheist,
Yeah.
and the atheist goes, yes, science can't explain everything. And he goes, not everything. What about the tides? Water goes in, water comes out. Can't explain that. And the guy goes, actually, yeah, we
The moon.
can.
Yeah.
We can explain that. And so it became a meme
Yeah.
because like it was like bread goes in the toaster, toast comes out. Can't explain that.
Yeah.
And it was like the Bill O'Reilly meme, dude. Like that's
was
the
like one of
tides.
first like generation of memes. That was
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
like a very OG meme.
No one called it a meme.
Yeah.
It was like
Oh,
an
wow.
internet joke.
Yeah. And then the ICP song came out. Magnets. How do they work?
Oh, it was so wrong. I don't know why I thought they were salt.
They're fresh.
For some reason, I thought that there was a feed and it was like some,
I would
must be a
assume
different
they're
lake I was thinking
connected.
about. I
It's
just
the Great Salt Lake.
I don't know which one that is. Where's that? Utah?
Yeah, that's the one that's salty.
Is it connected? It's not connected.
It sits in there.
Well, dude, I think that like last week we covered Alabama a little bit
Yeah.
because our Mike 3 was a guy from Alabama. He's on our team, a great guy named Jordan. But I told him I felt like how our listeners feel when they listen to our show because everything that Josh brought up about Alabama and
Yeah.
Jordan confirmed.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way that's real. And our listeners write in a lot and go, there's no way that's real about Florida. And it's like 99% of the time it's real, man. Like
Yeah.
we live with alligators. People do a lot of meth. And that's the silly side, right? But then you get Tuttle, who
Yeah.
fought the fight. She struggled the struggle. She founds Miami. And it's like, that's the flip side of the coin that people don't want to talk about because it's easier to make Florida a meme. But it's more than a meme, man.
It
There's
really
a lot
is.
of beautiful history here.
So I'll tell you, being from Okeechobee, Florida, that's probably like one of the biggest agriculture areas that you
Mhm,
could possibly be around. And my grandfather is actually one of the founders of that town.
That's
so
He was the original dairyman that moved from Miami
Wow.
when they were all that agricultural boom
Yep,
was.
okay,
He
yep.
ran to Okeechobee, bought his land, and just managed cows. That
Yeah.
was it.
Wow.
And then he passed away like a year or so ago. But his whole life was just dairy and church.
And that's
So
what we were
Man,
talking
simpler
about, man.
times.
Yes. That's what we were talking about with like, Frontier, Florida.
Yeah.
It wasn't that long ago, dude.
dude, it's still there.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And dude, there's certain areas in the Panhandle, there's certain areas near Okeechobee where it's like that's still people's way of life, and it's simple. Like my father, he tells me the story of his moonshining grandparents,
Yeah.
who died on the front porch, and like it was a simpler life.
Yeah.
People didn't overcomplicate things.
Mm.
Like my faith works for me, your faith works for you. We both raise cows. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it was very like just
So simple.
human
Yeah.
beings.
I
Dude.
think one of the coolest is Ben Hill Griffin.
Yes,
The stadium's named after him. He's probably still alive,
I think so.
but he got rich because he heard this family tradition of only planting on like the north side of a lake.
Yep.
And then like the drought came or the freeze,
The freeze
came,
game.
and he's the only one that had groves.
It killed all the other
Be-
trees.
Yeah, because of this weird lore
Yeah.
that he followed.
Wow.
His frontier lore.
Things exist for a reason.
Oh
There
yeah.
was some scientific stuff behind that at some point.
Yeah,
They didn't know
definitely.
what the science was,
Right.
but they knew that this.
It always worked that way.
Yeah. Well, what's fascinating, we talk about like to tie in like science and faith and that kind of stuff. There was a story we covered not that long ago where all these ships were crashing in this certain area in the Gulf off of Florida's coast. And the First Nation people believed that there were spirits protecting the land from invaders, and that's why these ships were crashing. And then you had like the more, I guess, scientific crowd that was like, well, no, it's like the lighthouse is malfunctioning and they're hitting rocks and we just can't see the rocks. That's what's going on. Turns out it was turtles. It was armies and armies of turtles
Yeah. Maybe.
that were they were mating and surfacing, and these ships would hit it, and it would cause it was solid enough. These waves of turtles it would cause them to crash. Now, what's funny about that
Turtles
is
all the way
Turtles
down.
just mating, dude.
right. Well,
Yeah.
well,
Like getting hit by a ship.
Yeah,
right,
That
like-
would be a disturbance.
Yeah, man. How do you mess up your rhythm?
well,
Yeah. Not me.
here's the
You got
wild.
no rhythm. That helps.
Yeah,
No, just all out of time.
next
Yeah.
rhythm.
What, dude? Okay,
Yeah, it's all over the place.
here's the wild thing, though, right? Okay, so here's a great discussion point. Neither side was really wrong because it's like there was a real Earth reason as to why these ships are crashing,
Mm-hmm.
but the First Nation people believed it was a spiritual thing. They believed that it was protecting
How is
the
it
land.
not?
Yeah.
How is it not? Right. And so both sides were right in their own way. That like, I mean, how else do you explain turtles manifesting and then crashing ships? You know what I mean? Like
spirits.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But I mean, but for both people, that explanation worked for them, and that became their story.
Yeah,
You
as long
know,
as it doesn't like affect somebody else's. Like, I believe in Jesus, so you can't believe in this, or I
Mhm.
believe there is no Jesus, so you can't believe in this. Or
Right.
I'm an atheist. Like, as long as
That's why I love that you two do not shy away from that particular part of yourselves and try to hide it. Because I feel
True.
like that there's
Yeah.
a lot of people that do believe in something that hide it because of the judgment that they'll get, because of the ones that are putting out a fake version of whatever it is that you actually
True.
believe.
Yeah. No, we take the crap out of each other, Christian
Regularly.
and agnostic
Yeah.
for fun.
I love that.
Yeah.
Because I grew up, much like Wayne, around the church.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
but a Southern Baptist church. I was in the choir.
yeah,
Like
Mm.
the whole
Let's
nine.
hear it.
yeah.
Dude, what, you want me to like sing I'll Fly Away?
Whenever your spirit is telling
Whatever,
you.
whatever
Well,
I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel bad for you, man. Like, I mean, like but like Josh was saying, we take the piss out of each other, because like Josh doesn't love me because I'm Christian. I don't love him because he's agnostic. Like,
Yeah.
it's
So
so funny.
weird.
It never really comes up, like,
No.
unless we're joking about it.
Yeah.
But people they'll grab something like that and they'll gravitate towards that as their identity. And it's like, yeah, it can be special to you, man. But like, when you make it your identity, like Josh says this very well, when you platform somebody, you have to defend them. And
Fuck, that's a good. I
That-
love that.
that's all Josh, bro.
You
And-
can't
I
put them
love
on a
that.
pedestal.
Yeah.
Then you're on the bottom with a sword.
Yep.
Like saying, don't come
I
after me.
fucking love analogies like that.
Yeah.
Visual representations.
And we
That's-
get it a lot, dude, because we do air that out on our show a little bit.
yeah,
Folks will DM us and go like, well, what about this? And it's like, well, man, I mean, like, works
They
for me,
want-
doesn't work. It doesn't have to work for you.
and they want to argue like such a complex topic in the DMs. Like, well,
I know.
here's this one part of the
The
Bible
apologetics
that seems
gets
to like not
dense.
make sense.
Oh
Or,
Oh
like,
my
I'm
god, dude.
I want you to debate all of Christianity with me, like right now.
You know what we were talking
Yeah.
about today, dude? Josh, I think it was today. Josh and I were having this conversation about why is it whenever you are discussing something with somebody that there's certain folks that will immediately be like, well, do you listen to so and so? So instead of arguing their own points, they want to point you to like a YouTube video or somebody else, and it's like,
How
it's like,
original.
bro, I don't care
Yeah.
about what Joe Rogan believes. I want to know what you believe. You know
Yep.
what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah, my guy said, "Well, have you watched him pool?" And I'm like, "I haven't. I don't need to
right,
know where he stands,
or
and
to
to
know
know
where
what-
I stand.
to know where I stand."
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More importantly,
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't believe in Jesus because like that's some other guy's opinion. But here's the opinion of this other guy that is going to tell you why you shouldn't believe. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I'm like a guy from Orlando.
yeah.
So, for me, having grown up in that church, then I had a stepmother, and I had a stepmother that baptized me Catholic.
Wow.
Um,
You got sprinkled.
He did,
Yeah.
right?
You double
So I
covered,
did-
bro.
I
Yeah.
am double
Yeah.
covered, man. I'm getting in.
Oh, yeah. I got baptized Lutheran, so I got the sprinkle too.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, where them tongues, brother?
Yeah.
Yeah. My Uncle Beryl tried to drown me in our pool in the backyard
Yeah. But with good.
with good intentions.
Yeah.
So
What, you were wearing a white outfit?
no,
Yeah. I was after Labor Day.
he was on a bender and just
Oh, yeah, that had nothing to do with it.
To me,
Yeah.
I say it all the time. Religion's like a pizza.
Yeah.
I think that all of religion is pizza,
So
and
let's
that
have a
each
pepper
one is got its own topping on it that's really giving you a flavor of the same tenets
Mhm.
all the way around. They're all pointed
Yeah.
at the same spot.
I like
It's
the
that
pizza.
Mesopotamian river valley, right? It's all pointed there. And then there's this little fucking thing that keeps a box from closing on you.
Yeah.
I think that's God.
Ah.
That little
That's
table that holds the
cool.
pizza.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Do you know what that actually does?
Keep the
Stops the lid
pizza.
from landing.
No.
on the cheese.
What?
I had no idea. How hard is it to pull your pizza apart without fucking up a slice or like
Okay.
ripping
Yeah.
it wrong? You're supposed to grab that thing and hold it next to the other slice so you can pull it off.
No, you're
Well,
not.
it's only got
that
3
keeps-
legs.
that keeps the
You don't.
lid out.
How many legs do you need to hold down the other slice?
I'm over here.
It might do that, but it
No,
also
it's not.
Are we arguing religion right
Yeah,
now?
I think we are.
We're arguing pizza.
Or
He
this
doesn't
guy
want
should
his
get
God.
as pizza.
stopping the box and holding his slice.
Yeah.
I think that's not why it was invented, but it might work that way.
I don't know.
Yeah.
man.
Can I just say
And that's how
something?
religion works.
Ironically enough,
Yeah.
we never ordered the pizza for tonight.
No,
Oh
we
my
didn't.
God.
We were gonna order pizza.
No wonder I'm so hungry.
We never did.
And you're like, oh.
And I just got so excited because I was like, oh, there's pizzas. And I was like, earlier, I didn't even want pizza because Jay got Pizza Hut yesterday, and that ruined pizza for at least 2 weeks for me.
What?
And now I'm like, well, they couldn't have got Pizza Hut. No one would do that to somebody. Like,
No one
there's
would
at
do
least
that.
like Domino's.
We'll have to find food or
Ew.
something.
Yeah.
Domino's sucks.
No, Domino's is terrible. It's worse
Yeah.
than pizza.
Yeah, they're-
slightly.
Not
Their
godly.
crust is like rawhide.
Dude,
Oh, easily.
I'll be honest with you, man. Like my favorite. This might be like a poor kid thing, but I love the oven pizzas from like Walmart, like the kind you make at your house.
The take and bake?
Yes, with Tabasco sauce,
Take and
bro.
bake.
I'll
Wow.
fold.
Tabasco sauce? Underrated.
I'll fold them like a taco.
It's a
Okay.
different thing. To me, that's not pizza. It's good,
Correct.
but it's,
Uh-huh.
it's
just like Chicago.
it's a
Right.
category
Yep.
of something else, just like white people tacos. Like,
Yes.
it's not the same thing.
Yeah.
Chicago pizza?
if you're buying the
delicious
kit,
tomato
It's
quiche.
not tacos.
Yeah, the shredded cheese and
So good.
Yeah.
like,
It
it's
is.
just a different thing.
Yeah.
The assembly line tacos
Yeah.
of white
Oh,
people.
I love them.
Yeah, that's not what the same. You know, like those pizzas.
It's
That's not an Italian pizza,
Yeah.
but it's
It's
delicious.
still good.
Uh-huh.
I agree with you 100%. Little Caesars has its place at the table.
okay. So Josh and I,
And that's pizza crust. I mean, that's
Mhm.
pretzel crust they have
Yeah.
now.
Josh
Dude.
and I are family, but we were legally family for a while,
Yeah. I married his sister.
for a little bit.
I liked what he was working with, but I wanted it in another
Whoa.
form.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa. Hold on. That
This is
that
true.
came
This is
out
true.
all sorts of phrasing. Phrasing.
Okay,
Yeah.
but here's what's funny. So no one. This is how close Josh and I are as best friends. No one understands the intimacy of my mother's cooking, like my best friend who married into the family and had to experience it.
Yeah.
So I never.
Intimacy is a leap.
I never had anybody to talk to about this until like, he married into the family and was like, "Hey, does your mom not salt anything?" Like, or like,
Oh, wait a
There
minute.
was-
This is a white people episode
there
for
was-
sure. There's no seasoning.
Yeah. Sundays at his parents' house. And I'm like,
Boiled chicken.
I'm like, okay, it's been 4 weeks. We're starting to see the same rotation
it's a
of-
calendar.
of the
That's
same
a
4
poor people
meals.
thing.
Chicken,
Yeah.
yellow rice.
Yep.
Oh,
Chicken and dumplings.
Fucking hate yellow rice.
Uh,
I think that shit is the worst. Well, I don't want to hear yellow
It's like-
pissed on rice. Give me
Yeah.
regular white
I
rice.
love it so much.
Oh,
There's
brown rice too. That can go in the same fucking
Yeah.
garbage.
I hate
disposal.
brown rice.
There's a
dude.
form of chili that his mom makes. And if you know anything about beans, garbanzo beans take an extra while to soften up. Not in his mom's chili.
Not in chili.
Yeah, no. I got a good garbanzo bean joke, though.
Oh, so
Oh, I bet it's the same
I
one.
bet it is.
I bet it's the same one. Let me hear
I
it.
bet I told it on 2 different podcasts.
Yeah, it's already. So let's hear it. I need to know. Should you like whisper it in the ear?
No.
Whisper it in
What's
the ear so we
what's
know?
the difference between a garbanzo bean and a chickpea?
Yep.
That's it. That's all. That's how I want to end it.
It's such an iconic joke that like
I love it.
it's one of the
It's
only jokes you can say
beautiful.
without the finish line, without
Yeah.
the punchline, and people go,
I thought everybody
no,
knew that
all
joke
over.
till recently, though, and like nobody seems to know it.
Oh, it's beautiful. Like the aristocrat joke.
and what's funny is the risk of taking credit for a joke that's not yours. I love the rush because you don't really know, like, is someone going to catch me on this?
Yeah.
With that joke, you can't take credit for it because somebody will
Someone's-
call you
yeah.
on that, bro.
Oh, it's
Like,
too beautiful.
But it's
Yeah.
crazy how there's jokes that made it the whole world just by word of mouth, right?
Dude,
Now,
more of that.
okay, so
A
similarly,
zeitgeist
yes,
happened.
before the internet came along,
Mhm.
you tell me how we spread it across the entire country that Marilyn Manson had no ribs.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because
Before
he
the
was
internet,
definitely
bro.
able to do
Yeah.
himself.
Yeah, like,
Yes.
everybody heard that.
Everybody heard that rumor, right?
Mhm.
But this is before the internet.
Yep.
We spread that. That's beauty, bro.
I think that's spread via middle schools.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's how it all did. Like the back of the bus, like the older kid, like
Yeah.
bullshitting some.
Like
kid.
everybody had somebody in their town that was laying on the road in between the cars going by.
on the
Was that-
program.
Yeah.
Yeah, the program, that movie. Like everybody heard a story about
Uh-huh.
that.
Marilyn Manson thing's impressive though, because like I don't know, I'm from the hood. No one gave 2 shits.
Well,
about
didn't we
Marilyn
all think he
Manson
was
at
like
all.
the dude from the Wonder
Oh,
Years?
Paul Pfeiffer from the
Yeah.
Paul
Wonder
Pfeiffer
Years?
from the
Yes.
Wonder Years. That was-
Yeah. I remember hearing
you never heard that?
No.
Yeah, Marilyn Manson was supposed to be Paul
Jesus.
Pfeiffer from the Wonder
my
Years.
God.
Well,
Somebody had to make that up.
bro,
At
that's
one
what I
time.
want to know. Patient
Well, the
zero.
same with the gerbil.
Yes, and Richard
Greer.
Gere.
Yeah.
Yeah, both
Gear,
of
whatever
those
the-
didn't happen.
Bro,
right?
I believed that until like a year ago, and Josh told me it wasn't true.
Yeah. I never noticed.
No,
Like,
you
I never
can't-
looked it up.
No, I don't need to know. Like,
You don't need to know.
there's a lot of claws on a fucking hamster or whatever.
Okay, if you had to choose one though,
A hamster or what?
or to remove a rib.
Which story? Oh, to do
No,
it?
real
What
life.
is like?
You got to
Like
take
create
one.
Eve?
Yeah, you got to
You
take
gotta,
one.
you gotta be hamstered, or you
One's
gotta be
real or one you have
ribless.
to do.
No, you have
Hamster
to
to
do
ribless?
either.
How are the ribs removed?
Surgically.
Surgically
As he
removed?
opens
Is
his
it
knife
just those
comb.
shitty ones that you can move yourself?
Oh yeah, it's a lower. You think
Does
it's a bit-
anybody
I always
know the
pictured a
gerbil went
lower.
up my ass?
I
I
would
feel
do-
like that is
Okay.
part of this
I would
problem.
do the
just as
ribs.
bad though. Like
I do the ribs.
I'm not doing the ribs.
I do the ribs. So I wouldn't finish the job.
I see what you're saying.
Well, yeah.
I-
I mean, if
Well, I mean, if
not
you
a
could
way-
quietly take the gerbil and
There's
never
no
tell anybody.
temptation. Oh wow. Okay. Yeah.
No,
It's not a shame.
I think I'd know.
Yeah, it's not a shame thing for me. It's more of a pain thing for me.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about the number of feet and claws on this fucker.
Yeah.
There's no
Oh,
way
okay.
that like getting your ribs
It's a lot
removed
of-
isn't
that's a
more
lot of
painful.
soft
though.
meat.
Yeah, because a broken rib, like sneezing and laughing, hurts.
It
So,
sucks.
The
That-
recovery has to hurt.
It's got to be way worse than the other thing.
Dude, I was listening to
No, man, I don't want the inside of my BH to look like a confetti.
No, I don't either. But
Yeah,
also, the
they're
ribs
shred.
is a problem. You can't sleep. You can't eat. You
Dig it
can't
in there with
laugh,
the little-
You can't move.
that is true.
For
can't.
like a month.
That is like.
No, but you will always know you had a gerbil in your ass.
Yeah. And now, whenever you hear that joke, you're like, "Oh man, that's me."
It wasn't even
Yeah.
fun.
Oh, that's
They're laughing at me.
Yeah.
But what if it's awesome?
there, your prostate's in there.
Wow, I didn't
There's a
think
lot
about
of-
People
that.
aren't doing
Wow.
that.
Jerry's like, hear me out.
People aren't doing that because it sucks, and they aren't doing it for the second, third.
My man.
Yeah.
Bro,
Yeah. What if it's awesome is the best phrase. But what if it's awesome?
I'm going to get a shirt that
That's
says
that's
that.
the premise for a TV show.
What if it's
What if
awesome?
Like, what if it's awesome though?
Yeah.
Okay, so I heard recently Tom Segura was talking about when he was injured during the slam dunk competition. He fell and his is it patella?
Yeah.
And
Okay.
and also his shoulder. So his recovery,
What type of dunk was he doing?
dude, it's actually you can see the footage online. It's wild how bad he got hurt.
Off a trampoline or
Did
flat?
you say Tom Segura was doing?
Yeah, and so
Isn't that
The
the
comedian?
the
The
comedian?
comedian. so he's talking
He's
about
doing
His-
dunks.
his fitness journey started because of that, because he said seeing himself get injured in that way, in a way that was so like unpredictable, like he gets invited to a dunk competition and then like ends
blows
up
one out.
blows his knee out and his shoulder.
Yeah.
And he was saying how to this day the nerve damage in his shoulder, like inexplicably, like his was hurt and radiate.
Uh-huh.
And so he was just saying how like never again is he gonna put himself in a situation where like he can just like be so out of shape that he falls down and breaks 2 bones.
Oh, I was
Yeah.
I did way worse. I broke 5 bones and dislocated my hip doing laundry.
I need to hear it, man. I need to hear it.
I got
like a newborn deer.
Yeah, I need to hear it.
Wow.
I got COVID really bad.
Is
and
this
then had-
commercial laundromat?
No,
Or this heavy
it's-
equipment?
No, I got COVID really bad, and then had a very bad reaction to the medication they gave me, and was in the hospital for a couple of days.
Oh,
Then I got home, and I didn't eat solid food for like weeks. And I got a new car, and it was like my best friend who passed away's favorite car. So like drove out to like where we spread his ashes, had like a little moment, and he loved like Egg McMuffins, and was like, I'm gonna get Egg McMuffin on the way home. Got home, puked it all over my bed. So I put the comforter in,
Yeah.
and my mom had been staying with me the whole time because I was really sick, and she went and hang out with my brother for the first time.
But I had to call his mom
Yeah,
to make sure he was alive.
yeah, it was.
I
Wow.
called his mother.
yeah,
wow.
I
That's
got really
wild,
sick,
dude.
and like, so put the comforter in, and I go to sleep. I wake up, and my condo's flooded. Like the thing got stuck in the washer, whatever.
Jeez.
So I'm like yanking it out of the washer,
Uh-huh.
and I slip, and my foot goes under the door. My
Oh.
toes, and I fall straight backwards.
Oh,
Under
wow.
the door.
Oh,
under the door.
wow.
It just broke 5 bones on the top of my
Oh.
foot, my left foot, and then just twisted my hip complete out of the socket.
Oh, wow.
So I was laying there for almost 3 hours with my leg going the wrong way and all this water, and I couldn't like get up. It would hurt so bad. And I finally like got the comforter and stuff like under me where it like
Oh my
was comfortable
gosh.
enough. And my brother came in to yank it back into place.
Oh,
And
my
then he had to
gosh.
go and like the doctor had to fix it, and then I had to get a boot and like it should have surgery.
Yeah, if
but-
you look at this season of The Ultimate Fighter, there
Uh-huh.
are some sections where you had the boot on, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
running by with this boot on.
Didn't you trip in that
Wow.
boot too?
I ate shit like Superman in front of the whole cast and that thing. on the concrete floor in the middle of the Apex
Oh
where
my
they have
God.
Holy
they had like one
moly,
of those,
bro.
like a wire protector.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
But,
yeah.
like the
Oh.
big one.
Yeah.
And, like I was going a little too fast that day, and oh man, it was rough. It was like
So these guys all get injured by like fighting,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then you show up and they go, "How'd you-"
Laundry.
Yeah, laundry.
Bro, that's wild. We had a guy come on our show who had broke 36 bones. 26 bones.
Yep.
And
Same time?
what's that?
same time we're like,
No.
oh, yeah.
They're separate accidents.
Two at one time was the most, right?
Yeah. He's just
Yeah.
prone to injury.
Yeah, but the latest one was the worst.
He had a brain injury and it was like pretty close to not making it. But so the following week, someone comes on our show and they had listened to the previous week's
I
episode.
heard this.
And he goes, I've broken 27.
I broke more than that.
Yeah.
Probably. If like my nose has been repaired so many times that there's like a lot of little bones. I broke my hands more than 10 times each, probably.
What?
What do you, how's that happen?
This is like
I
a
mean, I had
waffle
like a ton
maker?
of boxing matches growing up, and then street fighting, and just poor, never got it
Wow.
fixed right, and then just
Yeah.
punch something and like breaks, and the nose just like big mouth, no defense.
He's one of these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got your hands up beside
Yeah,
you.
he's already a champion.
Already a champion.
All the times, like yeah,
You're celebrating early.
Yeah, and then bop. It's
yeah,
over.
like, at the emergency room in Cleveland, used to get this purple heart for bravery, like necklace, and my mom still. I have a shoebox full of them. My mom was the sweetest woman ever.
Oh
Worked at a
my
church.
God.
all
Is that a sign of a good
Oh,
parent? Or
Well,
your
they-
mom's
they-
amazing.
They
but
like
you got all these
CPS,
injuries.
like, CPS like came and like.
Yeah. Oh
I
wow.
thought she was beating me. Wow! Like I mean, it was
There's
like
some trauma.
it was like I had the couch
Oh.
cushion at the top of the basement stairs, and they were like, "You won't do it." I'm like,
Oh,
"Bonsai!"
watch me.
Oh,
Right in
yeah.
the wall. He's unconscious. Like
See, there's nothing worse though than hurting
Oh,
yourself in
gosh.
a embarrassing manner and
Yeah.
have it be serious. I remember in like I want to say like I was 16 years old. Had a date this night. I worked at USave. You remember that store here in Florida, the USave grocery store?
No.
Yeah, so they had a USave. I
Yeah.
was a stalker,
Uh-huh.
right? And the truck came in that day, and for some reason, grocery stores think that you have to wear dress shoes.
Yep.
Like
That is
makes
odd. That is
zero
odd.
Yeah, that is odd.
sense.
Shiny black.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with like
That
no
is odd.
soul.
and
Yeah.
the floor's just always wet. And
Yeah. So and here you go.
Mhm.
Pallet comes in that day. Truck comes in. It's got that plastic wrapped around it, so everything stacks up. And
Yeah.
doesn't fall over.
Right.
Well, somebody started pulling the pallet plastic off. It was raining,
Oh,
and just
gosh.
left the pallet plastic on the floor. And I came around the corner, and like everything that could happen did happen in that very moment. The angles, everything. I stepped on that plastic, and my foot just went, zoop,
No.
and I spun so fast
Uh-huh.
that I hit my forehead or like the top of my head on a concrete wall directly on the corner.
Oh
Wow.
my God.
Like directly on the corner,
Wow.
blasted my head open, right?
Nice.
It's like all around here. I've got blood all over my face.
Yeah.
I go to like the,
Mhm.
the produce sink in the
Oh,
back, and I'm like,
gross.
got my head in it, and the manager comes back.
there goes left.
I'm also a dumbass and an asshole and say stupid things and
Yeah.
act like a goof. Well, I didn't even realize it was April Fool's Day.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, they're just
Oh,
like,
my
And the
gosh.
manager's
Not
like,
falling for it.
stop f***ing around.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I can feel my skull.
Right. Like you're tore open, dude.
oh
I had a
my
date that
gosh.
night. I'm proud of myself.
Yeah.
I'd been trying to get this date for a long time.
Yeah.
I was really upset that I busted my head open. I
Yeah.
didn't care that my brains might have been damaged.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
I had to go to the emergency room, and I had longer hair on top then. And I was like, they're going to fuck me up.
They're going to
Yeah.
shave that.
Oh, so they shaved it. I had staples in it. Still made the date.
Wow.
Showed up, had the hair.
Flipped it over.
No, I left that shiny right there. Like a zipper.
Wow.
That's so wild, dude. I mean, I wish I had cooler injury stories. I don't really
I
have
have
got
some
a
cool
butt
ones
ton
and
of them.
then terribly not cool ones, like
Yeah.
at the same time.
I didn't have anything scary.
Not like
Yeah.
that.
Took a butt of a rifle to the windpipe once by accident.
What the?
Yeah, you
Wow.
Dislodged it. Like it was like off to the side.
just,
I
like,
was
tripped
freaking
on
out.
it and you-
Like,
No.
there's nothing more terrifying than not being able to swallow.
Oh yeah.
Like you're
Yeah,
like,
yeah. What's next?
Yeah.
somebody put like a we were doing
A rake and you walk in,
training,
step back.
and we were clearing rooms as police officers, right?
Yeah.
You go in. You've gone in this room like 50 times.
Mhm.
You're over it. We're done. And then some asshole, like the last time you're going there, decides he's going to put a rolling chair behind the door.
What the?
So as you go barreling in there, the doors are not like nice doors.
Yeah.
They're like a piece of plywood with a piece of
Right.
1 by whatever
Jeez.
across it, to hold it in place. It
Right.
wobbles. It's been
Right.
beaten to death. I went through that door.
Yeah.
And the door was supposed to keep going.
Yeah.
It didn't keep going. And the barrel of my rifle just jammed right into the crease where that bar was coming
Oh,
across the door, like
gosh.
holding it.
Oh,
And it stopped dead. And the rifle came up off my shoulder and I was in full tilt. I'm like,
Oh.
it just hit the
Whoa.
fucking floor on my back. Like,
Oh,
it was
God.
so awful.
yeah.
I just remember like my windpipe was like off to the side.
Yeah.
And we
It's
had
hard to
this,
say, hey, I need help. My windpipe's
Right,
off to the
yeah.
side.
but guess what? What about the person that you have zero trust for that happens to be a medic, that
Uh-huh.
everybody jokes about being a medic,
Yeah.
that you would never want them being the one coming at you?
He
Uh-huh.
starts giving you mouth to mouth, and
Yeah,
you're like,
yeah. Well, she ran at me with what's called a J tube. And she was all excited to be able to stick this down my throat.
I got you.
I never
Yeah.
did something so fast and so
Oh,
without
gosh.
thought. Like I could have killed myself or something,
Right.
but I just grabbed and pushed and went, and I was like,
I don't know if I can listen to this.
Yeah.
I was
that's
able to
wild.
immediately swallow because I was deathly afraid
Yeah.
of this woman.
She's gonna like trach you.
She was going to try to trake me. I'm like,
Wow.
no.
stabbing you in the
Oh,
neck.
You don't want the person that everybody has agreed is
Yeah.
not supposed to
Right.
be doing their
Yeah.
job.
You shouldn't be a medic.
The throat
Wow.
is way too like that's
Yeah,
I fixed
that's
my
a
broken
tender spot.
nose, and that was
Oh.
painful. But the neck is 10 times worse. That's
dude.
rough.
I don't know how far dislodged it was, but it was dislodged enough to where it didn't go down when I did a swallow, and it scared the
Come on,
Jesus out of me.
Yeah.
I can't. I mean, dude, like I will say this. I don't have any comparisons. Okay, I haven't broken any bones doing laundry, or like I haven't like I haven't had like a
Don't minimalize
laundry.
it.
a gun to the
Yeah,
neck.
yeah.
But I will say this: I was vomit free since 2003 until the COVID.
Yeah.
and I got the barf COVID. And
Version 2.0.
here's the thing, though, dude. When you're throwing up, it's like you're turning into a werewolf. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's like this weird, like your whole body's convulsing and it hurts.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and at one point in time, I'm leaning over.
Spine is sticking out.
Yes, and I'm like, Lord, just take me, man. Like I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah.
And I remember one time, like in the up truck process,
Yeah.
not like timing the breathing right,
Yeah.
and I just couldn't breathe.
Oh, you panicked.
And you start panicking,
Yeah.
and then you don't breathe for a long time. And dude, like I was a grown man. I was
It's
just
over. You
I'm
ran yourself
done.
off in that
Yeah,
moment.
you're-
I'm
yeah.
done, bro.
Your
Like,
maker, your mommy, like it does not matter.
yeah, say bye to my kids, and then that's embarrassing, right? How'd your dad die? Well, he
Puke himself
got
to
barf
death.
coop. Yeah, he puked himself to death.
Then you're automatically an alcoholic.
Yeah.
In everybody's eyes.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
you come down a lot of pegs when you die by
That was
vomit.
the dumbest. No,
Oh, dude, big
You're-
time.
You don't get a plaque.
I mean,
The guy that dies by vomit does not get a plaque.
Yeah.
no, I mean, growing up, I had some concussions, but even those were unflattering. Like, I was peeing behind a tree during, and it was like one of those trees that look like a Christmas tree. I don't know what they're called, but they're
Pine tree?
yeah, kind of like. As a Floridian, I'm like, I don't know, it's a foreign thing.
Yeah.
We have little
Probably
little Christmas trees in
invasive.
Florida.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
So I'm standing behind one, and the branch structure is real thin, you know, so it gives the illusion of protection, but not really. And as I'm peeing, and my friends thought it'd be funny to throw a baseball at me to scare me.
Yeah.
And it went through the tree and hit me right in the face. And just, bro, so I fall down, like, pee still going. And,
Well,
and,
yeah.
and like,
Yeah. Baseball doesn't cut that off.
no,
Straight up.
straight up, bro. Like,
at the park.
Like a kid, like a baby with the
100%. And like, you know, and was concussed, you know,
Yeah.
like and I just remember one of my grandmas going like, you can't take a nap, can't go to sleep. Because
Forever?
Oh, yeah. That was, they immediately
Yeah.
told
Well,
you that.
yeah, and dude, like that was like 3 PM.
Is that true?
I don't know, but
I've had the doctors in the UFC told me that that's true. And like when someone gets a concussion, we're not allowed to do that. Like not let them sleep when they're under our care. And it's turned
Wow.
into like a
Man,
bad
what if you were
situation.
tired before your concussion?
that's what I'm
Oh,
saying.
yeah.
Oh, you were.
Like, I was.
What if you're on like 72 hours
Yeah,
no
I
sleep?
promise I was just about to take a nap.
Yeah,
I
right.
promise. I promise.
I had to wake up this deaf kid that we had, Matt Hamill.
I
And
remember
he was-
him on that
and he's on
season.
the
Oh,
top.
yeah.
He was on the top bunk and a hardcore sleeper.
Of
and,
course,
like, I'm
he's been
shaking
quiet
it.
his whole life.
Yeah,
I'm shaking
Jesus.
him with like all my might, and like he would just come up and like raw, like
Oh wow,
And,
take
so
him down.
strong,
yeah,
dude.
like
Yeah.
this third time the kid that this Danny Abadi kid, he's actually from this area. I would just wake him up. I'm like, at least you're take a punch way better. Like I would just shake him, like,
Oh, you get a
do it.
broom.
Yeah, and, like,
Yeah, give him.
Dude, I
Jack.
haven't heard Matt Hamill's name in a long
Mhm.
time. That kid could wrestle, dude.
He's
Yeah.
a crazy wrestler. Yeah,
Yeah.
I did a Where Are They Now episode with him maybe 2 or 3 years ago.
Cool.
Yeah, he's strong as shit, man.
You remember the Orlando guy that knocked out Kimbo Slice? He had
Oh,
the
that was,
green and the black hair.
Yeah, Seth Petrzelli.
Seth Petrzelli.
Man, that
He's
was
friends
good.
with the guys over at A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan.
Really?
Yeah, he goes on their show a lot.
Man, that was
Seth
one.
Petrzelli is a wild man.
Yeah,
That
me
was
and Kimbo were pretty tight. I like Seth too, but that was
Rest in peace, Kimbo.
They tried to fix
Yeah.
that fight, and Seth was like, "No."
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah,
You remember-
Kimbo didn't want it fixed either.
It wasn't Kimbo. I'm trying to think. Well, maybe it was Kimbo. Who was the guy that Randy Couture schooled? Because it was like he was a boxer. No, I think
It was James Tony.
yes.
Yes.
And he just heel picked him like nothing.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like quick. It was quick, man.
Very quickly. He just bent down and grabbed his ankle and like flipped him on his head.
Well, you
It was
probably
pretty
get this
funny.
a lot, dude. But like I mean, that for me, when I think of the UFC, like I still will watch, fights occasionally. But when I think of the UFC, I think of like the, Randy Couture,
It's a
the
golden
Chuck
GSP,
Liddell.
Yeah, it's a golden era.
GSP.
BJ Penn.
GSP.
Right. I mean, dude, I remember
yeah.
I remember watching BJ Penn jump out of a pool.
Yeah.
Out of the shallow end of a pool.
That was like
Yeah, dude, that was
like right at
amazing.
the end of his like.
yeah, and man, he's a superhero.
I remember nobody could take him down. That was
Yep.
like the big
Yes.
thing. Like
Even like George
10
St.
years
Pierre
against
had,
the-
like
Yeah.
20
Yeah.
pounds on him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And St. Pierre was, I mean, and dude, St. Pierre's a freak, right? And so like,
Yep.
and I remember watching and you maybe you can attest to this because they would do these fight videos leading up to the fight, trying to convince you this guy could possibly beat GSP.
Yeah, I did those videos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. So
It's your fault. We fell
I've
for
started
it.
doing these things now.
Yeah,
Like,
he's
I do.
helping me
I
with
do.
them,
Some of his what do they call them?
Game break.
Trailers.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Because you have to convince people, and I think he
Yeah.
fought Matt Hardy or somebody was his
Matt,
name.
oh, Matt Sarah.
Matt Sarah beat him.
Yeah,
New
Jersey.
I'm thinking of the guy.
Matt Hughes.
Yes.
Well, who's the guy that had the pink hair?
Oh,
Like-
Dan Hardy.
Dan Hardy.
The British guy.
Oh wow.
Yeah, British guy. And they were,
Him. Yeah, he was kind of had an alcohol problem, didn't he? Something like
He
that.
did, yeah.
they were trying to sell this GSP fight with Dan Hardy.
He put that out. I'm
Sorry,
sorry.
Mr. Hardy. It was well known in the show. Like
Oh, okay.
he struggled with it.
But it was funny because they were trying to sell like this guy
Had herpes. He had herpes too.
We had a guy that
Didn't like his mom.
This guy used to kick his dog a lot.
No, a guy couldn't fight because he had too much herpes.
Yeah, that was on the episode telling him that he couldn't fight because he had
I thought it was just positive and negative.
Too
I didn't know
many
there was a-
herpes or herpes at all.
It was on his face and it was like
Ah,
active. So yeah,
Uh, well,
You don't want that rubbing around on your face.
No,
we had to wait a week.
well, I
A
remember,
week.
I remember
I
watching
feel like
it.
that's not enough for
Yeah.
active.
I need a buffer week too.
Need a buffer week.
I
Just spraying yourself down in like Clorox before you go in.
please.
bleaching your face. But no, I remember watching that leading up to that fight, and my dad was in the room, and he was just watching it, and he was like, "Man, they're doing a lot, except saying this guy's a good fighter." And I remember one of the clips was
He's got a nice haircut.
he was like
Yeah.
deadlifting like
Treats his kids
like
good.
500 pounds with like chains on it, and my dad was like, "GSP is going to destroy this kid." And they were doing everything but
Yeah.
saying that this guy was a good fighder. Like, he was,
Yeah.
look how strong he is.
Yeah.
Like, he's funny too. with
And
the
they're
mohawk.
like the
He's
keys,
funny.
keys to victory, and it's like good parent.
good parent.
Excellent chef.
Yeah, excellent chef.
Yeah,
And
Holds the door.
GSP just like wet blankets this guy,
Oh,
like
yeah.
instantly,
Oh,
and it was
yeah.
like. But I remember looking back though, like speaking of bullying earlier, GSP was talking about one time when he ran into his childhood bully at the mall.
Oh wow,
And
really?
had to chase him down because the guy was terrified of him.
Of course.
Yeah, but I always thought
But
about
his
this.
temperament was so just.
He was so
chill.
sweet, but
I
imagine
don't give a shit, man. If I bullied GSP and he was coming
Oh,
to
I'd be
fight me
done,
at the
yeah.
Pearson
Oh, he
Pagoda
wasn't
at the
coming to
mall,
fight him.
Oh no, I think he was wanting to talk to him
Yeah,
and
he
say,
was
"Hey
like-
man, like
he was
hey, like I."
squashing.
no, I'm running.
Yeah,
But-
I'm running.
But imagine being that guy before seeing GSP at the mall and living every day as if you're going to accidentally run into GSP. That
I'd move.
sucks.
That's a
bro.
horrible life to
Yeah.
live.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I miss that, man.
You miss living like that?
No, I miss the glory days.
So that was
Yeah, the
like,
glory days.
I mean, that was the best part for me, because I like, I was just happy to be there at the beginning, like, and no business.
20
being
years
there.
ago.
You know, I was 24 years old and just
Wow.
fell into it like completely random.
You started at the bottom.
Yeah, but
Jeez.
it was really cool. You know,
Yeah.
like all of a sudden, like first interview I ever did in television ever was Tito Ortiz.
Oh my gosh.
But it was a
That's not
pickup
intimidating.
interview, which is like
Yeah.
like most reality TV, they'll like shoot it and then they'll write the interview bites, whatever they want, and then 6 months later, shoot the interview and then sprinkle it in there so it looks like heaven at the same time.
cool.
And
Nothing's real.
Tito got just murked by Chuck Liddell. And the producer at the time was like, "You want to finally do an interview?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "You did interview Tito Ortiz." So I'm like, "Sweet." So I picked him up in her brand new Escalade. She
Nice.
hated me, and then he made me go to Sally's Beauty Supply because he needed to get the hair
Tito-
dye. And I'm like,
Oh
the only
wow.
one who knows,
Oh
like,
yeah,
in the
he,
hood.
back then he used to do his yellow
And it
hair.
had to like match.
yeah.
It was supposed to be at the same time as this other clip that he
Wow.
had blonde hair. So I go to Sally's Beauty
He's a
Supply
lot.
and I had a flip phone, and she's like calling me, and like there's like you know, like all these like younger black girls that were there, and they were like, "Oh, that's Tito Ortiz," like making them sign autographs and like asking a million questions, like surrounding them. And like I was like trying to get him in the car, and they're like yelling at me, like, "No,
Wow.
like he's
That's
gonna, you know." So I finally get him back,
intense.
and she's like, "Man," so like I'm like 5'3.5", and so I had like the eye line can't be weird during an interview.
Oh,
so, like,
eyeline's real bad with
Yeah.
a big fighter.
yeah, so
Yeah.
I had to stand on a chair in,
What?
like this nondescript hallway to make it look like the background of like wherever they were at, you know. And then I get like the script, and it was bad. It was supposed to be before the fight, and
Yeah.
him talking shit about how he's
Oh,
about to
no.
murder Chuck Liddell.
Oh, that's not good.
you know,
But he had taken that L.
and I was like, and he had got beaten badly by the guy he hates.
I think
the
I remember
most.
that fight.
You
Oh,
know,
gosh.
twice he got, and I'm like, he's not gonna say this, and they're like, well, he has to. And he like
How do I
looked
make
at it,
him?
and he read it, and he's like, just delivered the lines like really shittily, and he's like, I'm a professional. He threw the paper in my face and walked off,
Holy
and
crap.
I was like, okay, avoided that one, but
Wow.
yeah, man,
that was the
That's
first.
Wild.
That was the
Yeah.
first one.
yeah,
Oh,
because I was
gosh.
the first TV show I ever did was called American Casino for Discovery Channel, and it was about Green Valley Ranch, and the Fertitas family that used to own the UFC owned that casino.
Wow.
So like some high roller came in, and like they got to go to the fight and meet Tito, and like it was part of like that show, not the UFC show. It didn't exist yet at that time, you know. So,
So
it was
cool.
like it was supposed to be like he went out with these guys that night, and then it was like then they got to go watch his fight. So it was like, you know, had a night gambling with the guys, and you know, tomorrow night I'm gonna go kick Chuck's, you know, blah blah blah. blah you know.
Oh no.
You know, And like you know, they had to wait till his face healed to like do that interview.
Good.
That's
heck.
Oh,
crazy.
dude, I wouldn't do that interview.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't care how professional you
Dude,
think I
Chuck was
am.
that guy, man. He was that guy that you believed he would probably kill somebody.
Yeah.
Like he
it's
sold it
just
so
violent,
well.
You know, it was like,
and
then-
not the traditional build.
no, he had a
No.
gut all the time.
He had like
Yeah.
he had like
Yeah,
Just
the beer
a
gut.
little-
Uncle
Yeah.
Carl look.
He had like muscular, but just a little gut.
Yeah.
That was Coors Light.
Who was
Yeah.
it that
Roy?
Rampage?
Oh.
Jackson came out of Pride.
Oh yeah, he kicked me in the nuts
Oh.
as hard as he could once. And,
What?
Yeah, at the same casino. Yeah, I threw like 17 or 18 numbers in a row on craps, and we just won so much money. And like he went to slap me because that was like his way of doing things, and I blocked it. I'm like, ha! And he just kicked me right in the nuts.
Jesus.
Like
What
Oh.
what an honor.
it,
What an honor.
I mean, I was in
Yeah.
fetal
Split
position
the eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah, what an
Wow.
honor,
for
bro.
a while on
Oh.
the fetal position on the ground for
Of course.
a long time.
That's so
They don't know their strength.
Yeah, that's true.
It was bad. I still don't have kids.
Wow, you
Yeah,
think that's the cause?
Yeah, my mom does. She hates them.
Your mom like curses like Rampage Jackson.
Oh, she should
God.
tell him off once. It'd be pretty funny.
Oh my
She would-
goodness.
Oh yeah.
Well, we're gonna keep doing this all night.
Yeah.
I think we could continue to just
easily.
sit here and talk like this. And I think this is just a precursor to things that are going to happen in the future.
Yeah,
I
of
can see
course.
us,
Yeah.
dude.
doing some cool stuff. I want to tell you guys that I genuinely appreciate the fact that you guys are who you are and that you do this because you love it and that's it.
Mm.
Right?
Yeah.
That means a lot because you're setting an example for other people to be themselves.
Thank you, man.
And it's really
Yeah.
hard to do in this day and age.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you. Thank you for keeping Florida in everybody's minds. It's
Hopefully in a good way.
Yeah.
it is
ideally.
actually Florida has its problems, but it's still a solid southern loving state.
Mm.
Like I still remember, you know, family meals. Florida's a family reunion state,
Mm.
Yep.
right? It's where people come together in large groups. But I feel like Florida's biggest issue is that there are people that move here that don't deserve it yet.
Yeah.
You don't come to a state to leave your problems behind. You fix your problems and enjoy that state. Don't
Mhm.
bring your stink face here
Yeah.
and then try to, you know,
And you're bad
Get along-
driving.
yeah, no,
Yeah, I mean, you can't make it much worse the driving here.
I know.
I think that's crazy.
it's getting like
It's getting nightmare. Everybody's ready to fight.
scary, super scary.
Oh, and now we have permitless guns, so that's good.
the driving. Everyone says their state's the worst, and I've been to 48 states now, and
Florida's the
it's
worst.
by far.
I just drove to Maine and back. Florida's the worst.
Every time
Yeah.
you leave this specific area of Florida, Tampa, Central,
Oh, yeah.
as soon as you leave it, cars slow down.
Oh, it
It's-
gets worse down south, man. Like when I did that 4 months of Dolphin Fire down there, I saw so many cars on fire. Like so many.
It's so hot.
For no reason, the car just
Yeah,
burst
No
into
reason. I
flames.
saw
Yeah.
a boat fire on the freeway. Like why is the
You're in
boat
the
on
wrong
fire
place,
on the
sir. Yeah.
freeway? Like man, it was so bad. And I'm from Cleveland, where the potholes are like Grand Canyon. And
Oh, my
like
God.
everyone
How many
hates
empty
empty?
malls are in Cleveland?
All of them. There's
All
only,
of them.
there's
That's
only
where
one,
they go.
They're abandoned, like
go to die.
skate parks and
Wow.
shit.
there's only one left out of 20 probably.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you could go pretend to make an Orange Julius at like
Yeah,
3
dude.
locations.
And people from other states go to
Oh.
tour these abandoned buildings, and like it's
That's pretty
it's
cool.
kind of funny, but also
Yeah.
like very
The biggest tourism
Yeah.
is abandoned malls.
Yeah.
Well, dude, thank you guys for having us on your show, though, man. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, thank you guys for coming on ours, and and I think like,
That was fun.
yeah, and again,
So much fun.
we do it because we love it, right? All four of us, we love it. And I saw someone say the other day, like, if you love something, just don't stop doing it. Like, as long as you can, like, you know, take care
Yeah.
of yourself, like, just don't stop. Like, you love it, continue it. But it does make it easier if you have people to do it with. And I think, like,
So true.
you know, we have our separate shows, but we have you guys in community, and that makes a big difference because, you know, like, again, if we're struggling with something, we can reach out and vice versa. And people don't really understand the struggles that are unique to kind of indie podcasters.
Yeah.
And we get that about each other, and it just helps that, you know, we're also semi-local in a way. And so we appreciate you guys, man, just for being
Yeah.
there.
Well, what happened when you walked in? We're 236 episodes in, and he looks at our setup and goes, "Oh, you can do this better."
Yeah.
I didn't say better. I just said less complicated.
He
for you.
said, Wayne and Josh, you're a piece of crap.
Yeah.
And but he gave us great pointers. But again, like, that's relationship. I mean, like, and that means the world, dude, because, you know, like, Josh and I are pretty open about our strengths and our weaknesses, but it's nice to be able to go like, hey, man, like, I mean, I reached out to you guys before the episode and said, hey, this is what we need. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
easy.
yeah. And just like a very easy, like, you know, if we're going to do this, let's do it right and do it together.
Always.
100%.
You know? And so we appreciate you guys, man. Like, we love your show and we love what you guys stand for. And just, yeah, it's been fun.
Likewise, man. Gary, you got anything, Josh? Or?
I think it's awesome. You know, people would look at it as competition sometimes, like
Oh,
yeah.
same market, same. And I just feel like everybody rises together. and
Yes.
they're stronger together.
Read
Yeah.
his shirt, man. He designs clothes too.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
like,
dude.
Like chase dreams, not bags.
Yeah, I just like all these kids are
Heck
good at
yeah.
that chase the bag shit. And
Yeah.
like, you're just if you chase them, it's gonna keep running most of the time. Like
Yeah.
If you have to chase it, there's a
it's,
problem.
it's if
It's true.
That's
It
great.
doesn't
Yeah.
want you.
I
Yeah.
I work with people that have $800-900 million all the time.
Yeah.
And I work with people that the PA that's still making short films with their friends on the weekend. And I can tell you who's happier.
Shout out to the real idiots.
99% of the
Amen.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so, yeah.
You know, I went full circle 20 years in this game to like just make cool shit with my friends again.
Right.
Like
That's
on a
so
big
cool,
scale,
man.
hopefully, but like
What an
that's-
odd trip that is.
I know.
you know.
Because that's the thing
Yeah.
is, like, dude, like,
Took a left turn and got a kick in the nuts from Rampage.
Yeah.
well, yeah. Well, and I was gonna say, like, I want to make stuff with my best friend.
Yeah.
I don't want to make stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, and I think
So true.
That's the difference, man. Is that, like, the fact that we get to do this together, no matter how big the show gets or whatever, like, it doesn't matter because we're doing it together. So, like, it's like if something were to happen and, like, you know, we were to separate or whatever, like, I'm not like, I wasn't born a podcaster. I was
Yeah.
born to make stuff with my best friend.
Yeah.
So I think like that's whatever avenue that looks like. We said recently like we want our show to be like a yeah. We
I
want,
love it.
We want our brand to be amorphous in the sense that we're able to do what we love together and offer different avenues and different things to people and dude, like we're coming up on 40 and it's just like, I want to look back on our life at 88 and go like, man, we did a lot of cool stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
I love that.
Yeah.
I feel like my life started at the age of like 42.
Yeah.
Like that's when the game really started getting played.
Cool.
It spreads though. Like he has told me stuff that he's learned from you guys that he's taught me that I've taught other friends that
Wow.
are trying to get into
That's
podcasts.
cool.
I wouldn't know what I would
You
teach
know,
anybody.
Like, since
So-
we started
There's
this, he was
so
talking
much.
about you guys in the group you're in and like how like they're, like the education of me, like that there's this community and it's like not,
that's cool.
like first time we ever talked about this stuff, he was talking about you guys in the group and the people
Wow.
and everything like that.
That's
What an
awesome,
honor.
man. Yeah.
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 You know,
I like
That's
my
an honor.
friends. Hype
Yeah.
your friends.
Yeah.
Dude, for sure. And like one thing Gary said too, that I want to just say, like, it's not a competition.
Dude,
And
so
the
not.
people who view it as such, they'd never last.
No, they
they
won't.
never
We watched
last,
it,
bro.
yeah.
We watched it happen to
You guys had a name issue, didn't you?
We
Yeah.
did
Yeah.
early on. We had a show that like wanted to go to war with us over a name, and it's like, bro, the difference is we don't care.
Yeah.
Like we
They
don't.
left us a bad review, and I replied back and I go, "Hey, are you guys the ones leaving bad reviews? Don't worry about it. We're always going to respond with love."
Yeah, like we don't. And what's funny about it is, man, it's like that was like 40 years ago.
Yeah.
And like to think about that, we could have like, bunkered down and gone like, here, we're mad,
Yeah.
and we're gonna
Yeah.
we're gonna be upset. Because,
Man.
but it's like, but bro, like think about it this way, dude. If you start a burger shop in your town, the odds of you being the only burger shop are slim to none.
Bingo.
You have to get along with
Make
people.
your burger the best burger.
Yes,
or
dude.
different, or just the one that
Yeah.
you think is what you
Yeah.
would eat.
Yeah, bro.
Make yours the jalapeno and let somebody
Thank
else
you.
make the fucking sweet and sour.
There you go, dude. So it's just it's nice that we get to do it with like-minded folks like you guys, man. And I think the fact that like your show has blessed so many people, and the fact that like there are young shows that are coming up now that are looking to your show, for example, and stuff like that. Like that's what it's all about, dude. Is
Mhm.
and you won't really see that impact probably, here. But I mean, at some point in time, I do believe that you'll
Rocks
that,
in a pond.
that you'll get a list of all the cool stuff that happened, via your work, and I think it's cool, man.
I appreciate that, man. Anything, Josh?
Say something nice.
I mean, I'm thankful there's a podcast out there to handle the heavy
Yes,
because I couldn't touch it.
yes, agreed.
I got to tell you, we say that it's heavy, but
Yeah.
there's probably only about 3 or 4 episodes that I did not laugh
Yeah.
hard.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I've had episodes on gang violence
Yeah.
and death of a mother that was being cleaned off of a refrigerator. And in that episode, we still laughed.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's a weird dynamic, but
Well, yeah, it helps. Laughter helps.
about things, not about that. But
Yeah, of
the,
course.
the
right
shows,
laughter part at one point when they get their story out and everything, and then
that was a hard one for him.
yeah, like this guy had like his brother got life in prison, and then got out, and they got murdered right when he got out.
Jesus.
And then his friends retaliated, and then they
Ugh.
shot up his house and killed his mom. It was sleeping on the couch at the time, like days
He was the
later.
first person to see the body both times.
Good
Like,
God.
And he's telling us the story, and I'm like, holy shit! And I'm like from a place where there's a lot of gang violence and a lot of
Yeah.
people die that I know, and I was like, damn. And then he's like the happiest guy though. And
What?
it's like,
Sip the kid.
He's
Yeah.
like the
He's a
guy-
motivational speaker, dude.
Unreal.
you know, it's
wild.
like- I mean, I'm sure he's deep down. There's like tons of pain there, but he's not letting that affect the way that he like does what he does. And like, it's like I
It's
don't-
unbelievable, man.
Unreal.
sometimes you need like. Unfortunately, sometimes you look at other people that have it worse than you to like lift
Yeah.
yourself up. It's like a natural thing to do, but like you can't complain about your little problems sometimes when like someone's like getting through life and like being
Not even a
productive
little.
and helping people and doing good things after they've been through that, because that's like way worse than anything I've had to deal with. It's
Yeah.
and if he could just get over it enough to like keep pushing, anybody really can do that.
Unreal.
We told a ghost story one time on our show, and it ruined our downloads for like 7 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how lighthearted our show is. people were like, "What are you doing?
Yeah.
Make us laugh." And we're like, "We're sorry."
Brutal.
Yeah.
I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
gross. Oh my God.
Yeah, but
Well,
we are.
Yeah, we are definitely.
I've never seen one. I don't know. I mean, would they be pissed? Why do we assume
I
they're
think it's
pissed?
speaking ill of them. I think
Oh.
that's where it brings on.
I heard someone say, and I think this is safe to say, but I heard someone say the proof that ghosts don't
Mhm.
exist
Mhm.
is because white people are still alive. Because it was like, if ghosts were real,
We'd be the first ones dead.
we'd be
Oh,
the
yeah.
first ones
100%.
to go.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No,
So-
we sacrifice our black friends.
Yeah,
We really do. We put them in situations that they would not normally be in, but they're only there because they're friends with a white guy.
That is
Every horror movie.
Every horror
Every
movie.
horror
Like
movie.
I think that we set them up for failure in
Yeah.
these situations,
Yeah,
and their
You wanna
friends are
check
mad at them.
downstairs?
They're coming
Yeah.
back from a Sugar Ray concert and they just get
Ah,
off. They're like,
Jesus
that's
Christ.
not, yeah,
Yeah, I better be dead if I'm at a Sugar Ray
He would
concert.
not, he would not have been there.
None of my black friends are at a Sugar Ray concert.
That's because
remember-
they're all dead now.
Do you
Uh,
remember
thank
whenever Sugar, when he was
Oh,
leaving,
God bless.
he was leaving at like an event, and someone goes, "Sugar gay."
Oh, my
He, like,
gosh. He
lost his
lost
mind.
it.
Oh, that means
Yeah.
there's a problem in there.
Oh,
Yeah.
bro, that
road.
is top tier joke.
Yeah.
Like if,
Yeah.
if my name is Sugar Ray
Yeah.
and someone says Sugar Gay, I am crying laughing. Like,
Yeah.
that's a great
Oh,
joke.
yeah.
It's a compliment at worst. Like that is like such a great joke. And he lost his
lost-
mind,
There's a reason.
bro.
That halo wasn't hanging from the corner of his four-post bed.
Hey, man.
Yeah, my name's Gary. It's one letter off. I would probably get
My last name is Hicks. Eat it. And I live in Florida.
Wow.
It is not a good.
Yeah.
It is not good for the home team.
Yeah.
No, I love it.
All right. Well, let's get on out of here, dude. I appreciate you guys. Remember, everybody, from Florida Men on Florida Man here in your studio, be cool and keep learning.
Hell yeah.
You can,
Awesome.
you
All right.
can go down
Did you
the
just hit the red
rabbit
button there?
hole. Googling you guys.